All right, I gotta call them up. Mina?
Hello?
Mina, oh my goodness. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I know that I turned your mic down. We're about to go, I mean, we are live, they can hear us. Hi, everybody. It's kind of weird being next to you. This is the canon height. Actually, Mina, you should be even shorter than how I have you. I don't know. I was just insane whenever I was coming up with Nanessa. But hi everybody. Look, it's Mina Crow, the hot VTuber Mina Crow, who recently debuted. My dear, why are you so Menhera right now? Thank you for the bits. Oh. Yeah, why are you so Menhera? No, I could be Menhera too.
Because you keep redeeming it on my streams and I forget to turn it off.
Because you look fantastic when you cry. What is this Riot guy talking about? But hi everybody, surprise collab. Me and Mina have been cooking this for a little bit. Also, welcome, well, I'm welcoming myself back to the YouTube. Hello, YouTube chat. So we've been cooking this collab for a bit. We were gonna do this earlier, but Mina wanted to kind of focus on their 3D modeling that they're doing because they're working on making a game. What a shame. But now we're doing Quake 2. Mina, you seem to be very hungry though.
Yes, I haven't eaten much today.
If you want, you can run off and go prep yourself some food because, I mean, you're mostly going to be supervising me playing Quake 2.
Yeah, because you asked if I was ready and I said, yeah, but I want to get something to eat first, and then you just went, just went into like, okay, let's get ready.
Don't be like that. Okay, look, you heard me talking to the chat. You heard me talking to the chat, and I told them that I was swapping over, and I just didn't see your message.
I see.
What was that? You need to oil that thing.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But no, it's okay. If you, I can stall. I can stall. Do you want to go run and get something to eat?
Yeah, I have leftover.
Why are you shadowy eyes?
Huh?
Yeah, you're Menhera and you're shadowy eyes. Yeah, you don't gotta be like that right now. You're around good company.
That's fine.
My audience is super nice and chill, and they're haters, but like, you know, they're cool and clever about it. So what are you waiting for? You gonna go eat or what?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Before you do, how is Mina's mic? Do I need to bring them up a little bit? Mina has a very gentle voice compared to me. Okay. Mina, can you say something worthwhile?
Say something worthwhile.
How's this? I could turn it up even more if you guys want.
Is it too low still? How's that?
A little more. Augmented says that you're gentle and quiet. All right, you're at 1 to 128. What about... Okay, talk now.
Okay. How's this audio level working? Is this good enough?
We have to bring Mina up so high to even, like, come close to the power of my voice. Mina, talk.
Hello? What about now?
It's probably fine. It's better. I want more enthusiastic answers like this is awesome and this is perfect. I can turn it up more if you need.
I can't wait for you to play Quake 2, the sequel to Quake 1.
Quake.
I'm sure you're going to like it just as much as Quake 1 in every single way.
I want to explain something before Mina goes. I want to explain that Mina's sense of humor is sounding like an NPC or advertising. That is what they do 24/7. So whenever they say weird things like that with that tone, that's what they're doing. They're so tongue-in-cheek about it.
It's consumed product. There's nothing better than being advertised to.
Mina, go eat. I'll tuck you away.
Okay.
I'll tuck you away.
Oh, I can do that myself.
No, you can't. Because I have it set to where I control your positioning.
Oh,
At least on my ends. It makes it more convenient. Like if we were both streaming from our ends, we wouldn't have to be like, okay, and now go to a little bit to the left and decrease your size. You know, we don't have to do that.
I see.
Go eat.
If I move on my screen, nothing happens on yours.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll have to tuck you away. I'm gonna shove you away. All right. I want to see the soul leave their body before I do anything, though. They still seem alive. Wait. They're pondering. Yep, they're dead. Oh, oops, I meant to move myself. Oh yeah, we could just tuck them away. All right. Oh, I was so excited. Me and Mina have been wanting to collab since we got our new models. Hell, I've been wanting to collab before they got their new model. Which is why I kept delaying Mina's request to do Fallout 1, because Mina really likes Fallout 1. But now that we both have matching models again, we will do it. Cause like, I didn't want to go back to my old model, to match with Mina. I don't know. I wanted to wait till I got my new model, my true final form. Same with Mina. By the way, Mina just recently debuted. They're a boomer shooter person. They're more of a PC gamer type person. Hold on, are we accurately scaled? I didn't mean to do that. What do you like? Look at this little thing. Ain't a thought in that head. They ain't thinking a goddamn thing. What, boob? No. Don't look at them like that. But guess who's gonna be matching with us very soon? Love Knife, whose model is getting close to done. It's very surreal. Looks like I'm grabbing them by the scruff. Hell yeah. What is it, Grimmico? What did I do? But oh my goodness, Metroid is so confusing to navigate. Like, I got fatigued for a moment where I'm like, all right, time to rest now. But I'm glad I kept going because man, we got such awesome shit. I love the dopamine of increasing my max missile like cap, you know. Iga is our saving grace, our savior. The savior of Dollhouse. There's going to be another Dollhouse member who's also getting an Iga model. The person next to Mina just isn't there. So true, so true. Not a thought in this head. But I love their Menhera toggle. I'm really jealous of it. I only have this, which this isn't Menhera. This is just mischievous behavior. Grow my brain like in a petri dish. Iga is love, Iga is life. As Mina likes to say, Iga happiness. She gives the happiness. So just a very dry sense of humor, deadpan humor. Yeah, although I'm kind of like that too. Like, delivering lines with a straight face. I like that kind of humor. E-girl happiness. Yes, she brings the e-girl happiness to us. Oh, you have no idea, right, how beautiful Love Knife is gonna be. Can anybody do a shout out to Love Knife? Ika Happiness is my VTuber mama and Mina's VTuber model and Mame's VTuber model. She's done a lot of work for us in the Dollhouse community. People always tell me they can't tell while I'm joking or not. That's kind of what I deal with, and sometimes I get frustrated because I want people to be able to tell. Like, how do I say? I want to come across as convincing when I'm saying stupid, absurd, insane things, but then I get, like, disappointed when people actually fall for it. I want people to know what I'm doing. I want them to understand me. You have... Oh my goodness. Love Knight's gonna look so amazing. I already know what their rendering looks like, for their head and their hair at least. It's so beautiful! My deadpan is too powerful. Yeah, Mina is able to detect most of it, like 85% of it, but not all of it. They're not that good. I used to always do this, like, trolling thing where I would say really absurd, stupid, fake trivia and get them to believe it. Like, like, one I did was something like, I gotta try to, like, get in the zone and do my convincing voice, because Mina says that my convincing voice, they can detect it now. I said stuff like, did you know that Nintendo actually originally started off as, like, a seafood company? Like, whenever they first started out. I know about the cards that they used to do, but they originally started doing seafood. Like, and they had, like, plumber-themed seafood restaurants, and they didn't have, like, many restaurants, but they had, like, a few. Like, I would say stupid shit like that. And because I would sound so sincere, Mina would be like, really? But I would just keep pushing it and see how much I could get away with. But they would usually figure it out because they would try to make eye contact with me. Because if they make eye contact with me while I'm saying this stuff, then I'll start laughing because I can't do it. I can gaslight, but I can't look at you when I do it. The lie detector, yeah. I just tell people straight up when I'm joking or not and never lie about it so they know and can trust me. One thing that drives me crazy, and I very rarely do it, is in text, when people say something and then they type /s, you know, for sarcasm. I don't like to do that. I think I did it recently once because I did get a little bit scared that people were going to misunderstand that I was just joking. I wish we didn't have to do that, but they always say that it's harder to read sarcasm in text. And it's hard to read my sarcasm in, like, voice. Like, in school, they called me the sarcastic master. Like, there was an award that they gave to people. Like, if you're the most sarcastic person at school, they would give you, like, a little makeshift reward made out of paper mache. That's a lie. That's not true. That's not true at all. The funny thing is, Nintendo was stated by a rich family of fishermen. Started by a rich family of fishermen / sarcasm. I wasn't lying. I was lying when I said I was lying. I'm not. Did you know that all the whales in SeaWorld are robots made by the government? I didn't know that. Did you know that they're fed soy fish? That's the reason why orca whales sometimes lash out at, like, trainers. Like, I'm sure that you've heard of orca whales that grab I was gonna say NPCs and drag them down. I mean, real people with feelings drag them down in the water. How can a fish be soy? Because they're not real fish. They're made out of beans. Drag them down in the water. And it's because they're mad at their soy diet. The bean fish? I thought /s was serious. I don't think so. I remember there was this funny thing. It was... I think he was being serious. I don't understand. The Sam Hyde and iDubbbz thing. Where, I think iDubbbz was just talking about how Sam Hyde always does that fake convincing voice he does when he's, like, spouting out bullshit or things that he may not mean or things that he's exaggerating how he feels about. And iDubbbz was like, okay, but what about, like, after you say one of those things, if you say just joking at the end? And I don't know, was iDubbbz joking about that, or did he actually want Sam Hyde to start winking at the audience? Do you guys remember that? I just started thinking about that. Did you know that there are more planes in the ocean than there are fish in the sky? I didn't. scrolling back up. Love Knife has won 5 from the jump catch game. Hey, I don't know what Mina's doing. There's just chicken there. I know they got chicken downstairs. They could have just brought in that upstairs and then came here and started, like, gnawing. I have osteoporosis. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, I know what that is. Never mind, I get it. Osteoporosis. Yeah. I forgot all of his iconic quotes. Mina's not moving. Whoa! Whoa! Ah, are they... Let me just pull them up by the scruff of their neck. Are they eating? Are they eating? Look at how well endowed they are. Endowed. You enjoying your food, Mina? Can you shake your head up and down if you're enjoying your food? There ain't a thought in that head. They ain't thinking a goddamn thing. Mina? What do you think they're thinking about? They're not thinking about anything!
Okay, I'm here now.
Oh.
I actually wasn't eating yet. I just, I had to, split up the food into multiple dishes, so it was kind of awkward getting it back here.
Multiple dishes?
Yeah, because, part of it's fried rice, and part of it is, salmon stir-fry.
They
had...
had...
in separate containers.
Oh,
and...
you had leftovers.
Yes.
Hey, is the salmon brown? I like when salmon is pink.
It's a little bit.
Oh, wait, I gotta get this weapon. I don't want to seem like imposing or threatening. Are you afraid?
No. Are you?
Huh? Am I?
Yeah.
Hey, let's do our alternate hair toggles. I'll start.
Which one should I do?
I like your ponytail.
Okay, we'll do that.
It makes you look joyous and youthful.
Thank you.
All right, cheers. Cheers to that, Mina. Bring out the drink toggle. Bring out the fucking drink toggle.
I already know.
Yeah. I love watching models eat. I noticed that you have a smaller mouth than me.
Is that true?
Let's compare.
Pretty similar.
Oh right, Mina. If you want music to get into the mood to what we're doing right now, we're playing the Elder Scrolls Oblivion soundtrack Harvest Dawn first 20 seconds repeat. Cause this is what gets used for the memes.
Is that like the I don't hear it, but
yeah, I got the curved lip, and then Mina's got the other kind of curved lip, where it's like kind of smug looking. And I like Mame. Mame has like the kitty mouth. Oh my god! I'll give a spoiler. Love, have you seen Love's mouth? It's so big. No, I'm just joking.
I have not.
No, I'm gonna type Love's mouth. It's right there. It's that. It's
okay.
It's literally that.
It's the angular smile.
So Mina, when do you...
Mame is the kitty face one, the colon 3.
Mame the kitty 3. Mina, when do you ever plan on playing Super Metroid? Because you played a little bit of it and you liked it. It's cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I have too many games to play.
Wait a minute. What have you been playing lately? I made the thumbnail for you. I know what you played. Hold on, let me think.
Deus Ex?
Yeah. Deus Ex is gonna kind of occupy your time for a bit.
That's the debut one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, what do you have on your plate? I know that you were doing a thing where you were playing a bunch of Halo killers, and then you moved on to that game that the Yakuza people played, or made in...
Oh, Binary Domain.
Yeah,
that was right before the hurricane hit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you for the follow. Also, hi, Orange. Thank you for the raid. I think the follow canceled out the follow, or the raid alert. There it is. You're being held hostage by an orange cat? You can be held hostage by an orange woman. And that's me. Oh, you did the little... Yeah, let's do our little animation. Ready?
You want to time it?
Yeah. 1.
3, 2... What, you're doing it?
No!
Have to do it on a timer.
Okay. You time it.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, we're like the syncing NPCs in games. That's always the funniest thing, like, if it's like whatever animation they're doing, if they're robotically doing it at the same time. I love that shit so much.
Two characters in a game and they're in the exact same idle animation where they're like, I don't know, like smoking a cigarette or something, and they're in the exact same like frame of doing it.
Grimiko says that we have to say ah, because it's refreshing. Ah. You have to say ah.
I'm eating.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that while eating.
Put all the games you want to play into a Kodoku jar and just play the one that's left. Kodoku? What's that? But Mina, you need to switch it up. You gotta get away from the shooters and you need to play some like other games like Donkey Kong Country. I want you to play Super Mario World though, to be honest. But you're gonna probably do Super Metroid first. Because I feel like of all those kind of games, I think that would be more for you. Like if we're talking 2D scrolly platformy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Play other games like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ugh. That's what our friend wants me to play, and I refuse. Mina, were you there when I was trying to do the wall jumping in Super Metroid? That is so fucking hard compared to Mega Man X.
I remember trying to do wall jumping in Mega Man X and struggling with that.
It's easy in Mega Man X.
There's one toward the end of the game, though, that like drove me insane.
Did you beat the game?
Nope.
All right, so we're in the same boat. I beat the dog, and then I think I beat one of Sigma's phases, but I couldn't beat the whole thing. So you and me are actually equal about that. We need to actually finish Mega Man X, because Mega Man X is really cool.
I was pretty much at the end of the game, and then I think I was on like short time to play and finish the game, and so I got to the end of it. I just didn't beat it because there was a wall jump part that like filtered me at the very end. So
Mina, Ronan is asking what your favorite Final Fantasy game is.
Let's see, which ones have I played? That's a good question.
Have you played any?
I've played the MMO, the 14 one, and I played Crystal Chronicles.
I was about to say.
And I played.
Go ahead.
Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I played that for the NES, which is like, I think it's like not even a Final Fantasy game originally. I think they just like rebranded it as that or something like that. It's like a Western only release or something, but I played that one when I was really young.
I didn't know that you played that one.
But that's my only frame of reference of Final Fantasy games, basically.
But yeah, you reminded me. I played Crystal Chronicles as well. I really like that game. Crystal Chronicles very fun. But whenever you asked favorite Final Fantasy, I assume that you meant like one of the mainline numbered titles. Really like how y'all have your specific genre of games you stick to. Yeah, we definitely have our pool of like what we kind of like prefer, but we will branch out of it every now and then because there's lots of things that are like fun and interesting out of our comfort zone. What I wanted to play boomer shooter wise, and I can still maybe figure something out, is I wanted to do Dark Forces because it's like Star Wars but Doom. And I was looking forward to that, but that's going to be like a whole setup thing. Lee DOS box.
There's that, and there's the Raven Software Star Wars games, the Jedi Knight games.
No, Machina. No, Machina. The Dark Forces Remaster has the graphic style that I don't like. Because it's ugly. Because, like, you have Dark Forces, which has that really pixelated art style, and then you have that remaster, which makes it all smooth and weird looking, which is, like, it's okay, but it doesn't look like... Maybe if they made Dark Forces look like Quake graphics, but instead it looks like weird, modern, kind of retro, but not really authentic style. Mina, do you understand what I mean? I don't understand.
It looks like the, you take the pixel art, and then you sort of, like, try to upscale those pixels into high resolution, but still keep this, like, same art style of it, but it makes it look like, it's not like an art style that ever actually existed in the 90s, it's more of like a sort of revision of, like, what the game looked like, basically. So it's kind of strange, basically.
Yeah. Like, I think it works better with, like, whenever they did it, because it's Night Dive as well, whenever they did it with Quake 2, where they upscale it a little bit, but it doesn't look actually that drastically off from how Quake 2 initially looked, right?
Yeah, because the overall resolution of the textures in Quake 2 are mostly about the same. It would just say that the models have higher polys, but you still have like, if you look at the textures, they're still pixelated looking basically.
Right.
But in Dark Forces, it looks like, what was originally like, 128 by 128 or like maybe 56 by 56 resolution pixel like sprites are now like 512 by 512 or like 1024 by 1024. So it's like it's like smoothed out basically. It doesn't have the pixely look anymore.
Just like I just don't dig it as much personally. Hell, actually, even sometimes when it's like trying to upscale something that already is kind of like high poly or whatever you want to call it. Remember some of the screenshots of how the System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition's looking? I have some mixed feelings on it. I feel like they changed the lighting a little bit in a way that I don't like. It's very nitpicky and everything, but that matters to me because System Shock 2 does look really nice. And so I don't think it needed much improvement lighting-wise. What it really needs improvement in is just the models because, the whole ordeal. The models were not actually supposed to be as low poly or whatever as they were.
They're lower poly than they needed to be, basically, for the time the game came out.
If the Dark Forces remaster has the option to have the old graphics, I'd happily play it though. Like, I bet it does quality of life stuff too, which is pretty cool. But I just like, how do I say this? I really like how original Doom looks, the pixel kind of art style. I think it's like very charming, very detailed, very crunchy. So if anybody tried to remake it and make it look like too smooth and polished, it just wouldn't have the same vibe. You know what I mean? Unless they super detailed the textures to kind of like make up for it, if that makes sense.
For me, I think for visuals, it's usually, to me, it's a consistency thing. If you have like one thing looks really high fidelity and it's next to things that are low fidelity, then it takes me out of it. But if you make like everything visually look consistent and like hi-fi, then it's like not as big of a deal for me. It's that clash of like seeing like low fidelity next to high fidelity that like takes me out of it.
Can you give an example of like something that has low fidelity but like?
Well, it's like when I think of like a game like, say, Doom or Dark Forces or Duke Nukem, something like that. If you have like high-res sprites, where say you run like a upscale, like a sprite upscale mod or texture upscale mod, where all the Doom textures are now, 2K resolution. The monsters are all like 2K sprites and stuff like that. But your geometry in the game is still like blocky.
Yes.
Like it's super like low poly environments and blocky. But your characters and like wall textures and stuff are super high resolution. To me, that's a like visual clash to me. Like it looks strange, in my opinion.
You mean stuff like whenever people take Doom 1 and it's like, okay, but let's add reflections and modern lighting.
Yeah, like specular lighting and stuff to it, yeah. It can look good if someone builds a map from the ground up, like a super like detailed map, and then like, makes it built around all the features of GZ Doom, I think you can pull off some cool looking maps that way. But if it's just like Doom 1 maps as they were, and then you just put like chromatic aberration and motion blur and specular lighting and stuff like that, then I don't know, it looks kind of gross to me.
Right. Oh, there's something that I was gonna ask. What does specular lighting mean again? How is it different than dynamic lighting? What is that?
So, dynamic lighting is actual lighting in the environment, where there's actual like lights that are placed in the engine, and they can move around, and they'll cast real-time shadows and lighting in the environment. That's dynamic lighting. Specular lighting is more of a shader on materials, basically, where it's stuff like you have certain materials that have a reflectiveness to them, like a plastic or like a metal kind of texture. It's that effect where, based on the camera position compared to the material, will then add in this kind of like reflective kind of gloss, like shines like on that material. Specular lighting, I think for the most part is like it's faked basically, where it's like a fake reflective effect on materials, and it's been used since like basically around like the early 2000s. Like games started to use specular lighting. Like you think of like you can think of games like, I don't know, like how Doom 3 kind of like textures look in Doom 3. They have kind of like a fake kind of like glossiness to them.
Right.
Like 2004, you started to see a lot of specular lighting used like that.
So,
but it refers to a material shader as opposed to like environment lighting.
So then in that case, you can have both dynamic and specular lighting together?
Yes.
Okay. Remake 1 remaster. Models are super clean, the backgrounds are fucked. Yeah, some areas look good in the Resident Evil 1 remake remaster, but some are just so crunchy, and I don't know why only certain rooms got fucked. Is it because they lost the source files, or like what the hell happened with that?
I do remember hearing something about that like, yeah, some of the backgrounds, like I think they lost the original like render, like source files to render those environments with, so they're basically just just the original like low res ones. I think they just kind of sharpened them to try to make up for it,
which is funny. And then I heard that they still had all the source files for Resident Evil 0, and that's why the Resident Evil 0 remaster is like better or something. That's kind of what I heard.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I think in general, I think people have said that if we're talking about the original Resident Evil 1 remake and Resident Evil 0, not the remasters, but the original versions, I think some people said that RE0 visually looks better than the RE1 remake. They have the same like art style kind of consistency. I think they reuse similar textures and stuff like that, but some people said that RE0 is more detailed. What do you think of that? Do you remember that?
My memory, because I only played 0 once, my memory's a little bit foggy on it, so I can't really say.
Fair. 1080 Wind Waker, but with the 480p texture. Speaking of Wind Waker, I remember whenever they first showed the remaster, or I guess it's technically a remake. Is it a remake or a remaster? It kind of feels like it could go either way. Certain remasters tread the line, I think. But I remember being impressed, like, wow, it looks so fancy and smoother. It doesn't have anti-aliasing or whatever. And then when I went back and looked at it when I was a little bit older, I'm like, wow, actually, Wind Waker looked fine. Wind Waker just had like a color palette that they selected that was very bright and appealing to look at. And then the remake/remaster Wind Waker came out, and they're like, okay, now let's add bloom. Let's make this cartoony game look, more realistic, which is a little bit weird when you really think about it. Have you seen what that remaster remake thing looks like?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
It's definitely a bloom fest.
That's the thing I don't like in a lot of remakes or remasters, especially like remasters that change the lighting of things, and they also like decide, yeah, let's put in bloom in a game that like originally did not have it, and now everything's like glowy looking and weird.
Yeah. We were watching a bit more gameplay of Oblivion Remaster. I don't want to I haven't been paying attention too much because I do intend to play the original Oblivion myself. But we got to see more of the game beyond just the initial screenshots that I think everybody was dunking on, including me. I love dunking on it, where it has that kind of brown, desaturated look with so much, like, do you call it ambient fog? What is the term for it? Spatial fog. It's like a fog done in a way to try and give the illusion of depth or something, and I feel like they go like too hard on it.
It's just, yeah, I don't know what the technical term for it is. Screen space fog or something, I don't know. Yeah. Something like that.
Although they do that, and then just in general, like, we have real lighting now, so when you have all this real lighting, it makes the world look so much foggier. And I don't know, I'm looking around my room right now. My environment right now does not look like how video games try to tell me how the world looks. Which maybe sounds silly because, video games they're not supposed to look like real life. But they're trying to look like real life. But the way that they're trying to look like it is raw and ugly. That's the thing that drives me crazy about it. So we saw more environments, and you know, the game has more of a color palette than that original screenshot would have you believe, but it still has that foggy muddiness, and I'm very relieved to see so many people talking about it, because I would like it to die. I would like this trend to die. Do you think it ever will?
One thing too.
Oh, what's up?
One thing is, too, for context, the person that you're watching play it is using a reshade mod to also increase the color of the remaster too.
I've heard people talk about that, actually. Maybe that's why I've been enjoying it, but it still has that kind of like foggy look regardless, but
yeah,
maybe that's why I like the colors. Okay, I did not know that. So then does that mean it's actually ugly then? And that nothing
I don't know what it actually looks like in game, because that's using a reshade mod that we saw.
I thought video games these days try to add a cinematic effect color. That's what they're doing. Games are not games, they're experiences now. And you will take them seriously, okay? Games will be at the Oscars one day. And you're gonna like it. Is the game using DLSS? The fog might be there to blur generated flames. Or frames, not flames. What do you think of that? Mina, you're more familiar with the techie side of things.
It probably is. I think the Oblivion remake is on Unreal Engine. So I would not be surprised if it is taking advantage of DLSS.
Remember when people made fun of early PS3 games for being brown and gray? Yeah, or yellow, or green? Like...
There was, that period, it kind of feels like we're in that stage sometimes again, where there was that late 2000s period around the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation of games where everything was very desaturated gray, brown, green colors, basically, where it's supposed to look like gritty and realistic. That's quote unquote realistic, basically, but
cinematic.
Yeah, everything like wanted to look like, I don't know, like you're watching like Black Hawk Down by like Ridley Scott or something like that.
You sound like you talk with a Rocky Mountain dialect. Reminds me of the folks I grew up with. Do I have a dialect? It's always fascinating seeing people try and guess where I'm from, because everybody says I have some kind of accent, but nobody can, like, place it. I feel like... How do I say this? So if you compare, like, a modern game with an intense filter to, say, like, Resident Evil 5 or the newer Deus Exes... I feel like there is a difference between the two. Something about, I feel like PS5, maybe the contrast was higher, and there would also be a certain, how do I want to say? There was a certain shimmer on all textures back then. Do you know what I'm talking about? Think of Dead Space also, and that general era where things would all look more reflective than they should. Or BioShock. Like how models would look in BioShock and the light would be on the models. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's just the, that's what I was talking about earlier, is the specular lighting. That it was basically used on, like, all materials back then.
And I don't miss it. I like how... I think
they've just gotten better. They've gotten better at utilizing it. But, like, the early adoption of it, I think, looked kind of rough.
Yeah. I feel like picture quality would just be more clear then, at least, though. Like, if I think of Resident Evil 5 didn't have as many effects that, like, a new one would probably have now. But, I mean, the games can still look good even if they do use them. It just depends. I'm glad everything is moving to ray tracing and path tracing. I know vaguely about ray tracing. What is path tracing?
I'm not familiar with path. I know what ray tracing is, but I don't know what path tracing is exactly.
For the audience and a refresher for me, what is ray tracing again? The only thing I remember about ray tracing is it has to do with reflections.
It's basically kinda, yeah, it's like ray tracing, sort of like, I guess the easiest way to describe it is like, it's basically the most close we can get to like actual, like real-time lighting of environments, basically, to where it's like as close to realistic as possible with like lighting in engines, basically.
Isn't it kind of like common though that ray tracing breaks games and that typically people have to turn it off?
A lot of the times there's been game release, at least I know like the Resident Evil games are like this, but excuse me. Whenever they would first add, ray tracing to like the new Resident Evil games, like RE4 remake, that if you turned on ray tracing, a lot of times it would cause people to crash, and it would usually take a few patches before they would iron that out.
Crazy.
But ray tracing is very, very costly.
Right.
It hits the performance hard.
So are we ever going to get to a point to where, like, how this won't be as taxing? Like, will one day running or having ray tracing be just nothing? Or are we just too behind the tech that would need, if that makes sense? I'm not wording it very well, but maybe you can understand.
I think you're asking if we'll hit a point where it's just kind of like standardized to the point where it doesn't really hit performance too hard.
Yes.
I feel like at some point probably, yeah. I think it'll probably get more optimized over time, or we'll get newer, graphics cards that are just kind of standardized to utilize it effectively. I feel like that'll happen at some point.
This might be interesting for you to discuss. Remember the Silent Hill 2 remake?
Yeah.
What was the issue with that game? And also, if you wanted to comment on the video that we watched of that guy that's like raging a war against Unreal Engine, if you wanted to talk about that. I'm curious.
So, yeah, that's kind of a hot topic going on actually with that game and Unreal Engine and polygons in games in general. There's a whole debate I've been seeing, and I don't feel like I'm really informed enough to fully make a good judgment of that whole argument, basically, because it starts to get very technical.
That's me with everything. That's me with everything.
A lot of it has to do with nanite and like models being, what they call like they're unoptimized models, basically. And the reason is stuff like, people take stuff like Pyramid Head's model from like the cutscenes in the game, and then they look at him and he's like, look, he has like 80 billion polygons. It's just like the remote from Garden of Banban type of thing, where it's like, this is why the game runs so bad. So I'll see that, and I'll see other people then kind of criticize that and say, well, it's specifically for a cutscene in the game. It has LODs, so when you move far away from that model, it'll pop in the lower poly versions of those models. And two, it's like it's only for the cutscenes too, and also it's utilizing Unreal Engine's nanite, and nanite is supposed to be able to render like a gazillion polygons on screen, like in those kind of circumstances, and have much less of a performance hit despite rendering way more polygons than it's normally supposed to do. That's what it works, or that's how it's supposed to work in theory, basically. And so I see a lot of developers kind of on both ends that are, basically the one half the fence saying like, yeah, well, it's not optimized, and then the other half saying, yeah, well, it's using nanite and it's supposed to be more optimal using nanite. And I don't know. I'm not informed enough to like have my own opinion of it at this point, because I feel like there's valid arguments on both sides, basically.
So what was the deal with, do you remember what the guy was claiming about Unreal Engine? He's kind of grown a little bit, at least top discussion around him regarding if his claims are legitimate or not. Hello?
I think his argument is something about Unreal Engine being over-reliant on temporal anti-aliasing. Hello?
Oh, sorry. There was like a delay. My computer froze up for a second, but don't worry, guys. I'm getting a new one. Continue. I apologize.
What I heard is like he has some argument about UE basically being over-reliant, and not just UE, but I think just game engines in general, but like his main thing is because he's focused on Unreal Engine, is that it's over-reliant on TAA, which is temporal anti-aliasing, and basically that upscalers like DLSS kind of just having like, games just kind of over-reliance on those two things, the TAA and the upscaling, basically, in order to get good performance. It's something along those lines, basically.
Right.
I do know that like upscaling and TAA, like I've seen comparisons, and it's like it does make games look blurrier. Like if you look at like comparisons, a lot of games have this like smudgy kind of blurry look to them, and it's because of the upscaling. And I think theoretically, like if you're running already a super high resolution, you shouldn't like need to use anti-aliasing at that point. But I guess the combination of like using an upscaler and like AA together like gives you a pretty good like performance boost too.
Okay.
So it's something like that.
Another question I had is what did you think of Silent Hill 2 in the visual department? Do you think it's a nice looking game, or did you have issues with it? Because I watched you play a lot of it, but I don't know if I ever really took in the visuals other than just hating the game.
I think the game visually looked pretty good. I was having to run on lower settings, and it ran like crap, especially when I was streaming it. But I do think there was a lot of attention to detail, and the assets were very like well made in that game. It's very realistic looking, and that's one of those like, it's one of those games where it's like, you know, they're going for as realistic as possible like looking kind of graphics, and I guess, you know, it's like a good looking game, but I guess like I don't know. I guess if you make your game have a bazillion polygons and, you know, look as realistic as possible, I guess it looks good. But I mean, to me, it's like I'm gonna prefer the art style of like PS2, like baked in lighting, like you know, that kind of like old school look with lighting and like photo sourcing textures and stuff like that. I like the charm of that look.
Okay. I was gonna ask something, but I immediately forgot what I was going to. Oh no. Well, let's catch up on chat, actually. 8 Lives said earlier, if there is more focus on gameplay, then the scenery will be full of unique objects that affect the game differently and will result in more colors that pop out more to communicate the mechanics when they want the game to look and act cinematic. The sceneries will be more uniform and feel grayer no matter how much color is technically being used. What was the context of that? Sorry to read that like 5,000. Oh, that's, I guess, in reference to Klonoa 2. Klonoa's 2 remake changed the lighting because recreating the PS2 lighting on any other console is a nightmare. I've heard something about that. I've seen some Twitter threads talking about how the PS2 was very, very technical, and how the way they would do like transparency was very, very unique. And whenever PS2 games get ports, things will get broken in the port version. I'm sure you've heard about that.
I've heard something about that, where PS2 apparently is like kind of magic when it comes to rendering transparent materials, where transparency is usually very expensive to render. In the PS2, I don't know, something about the way it rendered transparent materials, it was very optimized, where you could have like layer upon layer upon layer of like translucent materials kind of over top each other, and it still run fairly optimal. Whereas like now it's like if you stack translucency, then it starts to give you pretty big performance hits. So you have to be careful about how much transparent you use now.
Right.
I think that was the thing, is like unique to the PS2, basically.
Also, the first big paragraph that I read, 8 Lives, was saying it was just in reference to the brown and gray area of the 360 and today. Brown and gray area. Let me read. If there's more focus on gameplay, then the scenery will be full of unique objects that affect the game differently and will result in more colors that pop out to communicate. Oh, okay. Like things being vibrant. That's something that modern Doom is, right? Like very, very vibrant in color. Although I don't know about that new one.
Doom, Doom Eternal was pretty colorful from what I remember. I feel like it was like it was kind of a pendulum swing from 2016, where I remember there was a lot of criticism of 2016 being too kind of like dull and desaturated.
Was it?
And so Eternal, yeah, like 2016. So the initial reveal of 2016 was very, very like brown and like gray kind of looking, and as the game got closer to release, they put more color into it. But then like Eternal's like they took that, and then they like went like 10 times even like more crazy with the color, from what I remember. to where now I think there is like, you know, it went to the point where now people are complaining that like Eternal is it's too colorful and cartoony, basically.
It needs to look more grimdark. And thus we got the new one, which is that why they call the new one Quake looking, because the color palette is darker and more desaturated and colder?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't looked too much into the new one. I don't feel like it, like, I've heard people compare the new Doom that's coming out to Quake. I don't fully see the Quake resemblance other than like, yeah, maybe the like more desaturated tones to it, but I don't know. I guess maybe because there's a bit more like fantastical, like, you know, dark fantasy elements in it. Maybe that's why it's getting compared to Quake. But
right.
Other than that, like I don't really see a ton of like Quake in the new Doom to me.
Hold on. So PC said, one such interesting thing on PS2 was in the first training stage of Armored Core 3, where all the buildings have breakable glass windows, and if you overboost, they explode around you. Well, like the shockwave kind of stuff? Or soundwave, shockwave, stuff like that. Mina really appreciates breakable glass in video games. I'm about water, Mina's about glass.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a... it's kind of like a litmus test basically in a game to me, is like how cool have you done your glass in the game. Basically, when you shoot the glass, like how does it react? And I feel like that's like a good like kind of testing ground of like what kind of game you're getting into, basically.
So is that a thing that we do now? So back like many years ago in the retro era, I think we would push things by like, oh, what are little things that we can do to advance or push tech? Oh, let's have like cool glass breaking systems. But now I don't think we focus on fluff like that anymore as much. Now we focus on what? Fidelity and lighting mostly, and just model improvements, texture improvements.
It feels like, yeah, mostly like, I think what's kind of aimed for now is what's the word? Seamlessness. I think seamlessness is like the thing that games have really, in like the past 10 years, have like really aimed for. Things like getting rid of loading screens, like streaming in textures, not having to segment up levels apart, you know, more open world stuff, making it feel like there's not like a hard transition from a cutscene to gameplay and vice versa. That's what it feels like to me. That's what games really prioritize, is that seamlessness in games.
Okay. Let me scroll back a little bit. Do you know the artist Cursed Pumpkin? They are a dungeon synth artist. I feel like you might vibe with them. You know, I sometimes see...
I'm gonna be right back also.
Oh, no problem. Let me just tuck you away. Let me just grab you by your little ponytail and just... It's like you have to hit a totally different button to tuck her away. But, what was I gonna say? I see, dungeon synth get recommended to me every now and then, but I haven't really explored it much. But, I could believe that I might like it. You can have shit graphics if you have good immersion. Yeah. I think it was just based on proximity, and if you're using overboost, or if your shots hit the windows. That sounds cool. Thank you. This was recommended by Augmented, because we were playing I think the Unako theme from Deus Ex, and then Augmented wanted me to play something else. Because I usually just play the same, like, song from Deus Ex over and over for background music. Mina is currently going through their first time streaming Deus Ex over on their channel. And it's been cool. Mina has like a sexy cyberpunk costume for it that matches and everything. Well, it kind of matches. Hello, Stevie. Looks like you're getting excited. I'm feeling chill. Last time I really saw them push in impressive graphic mechanics was Metal Gear Solid 5's cloth physics. Cloth physics have come such a long ways, huh? There's always going to be some issues with them, though. I don't think you can fully minimize clipping, because the way to avoid clipping is it can cause issues like making, like, hair float above cloth and stuff like that. Hold on, I'm sorry. My brain's, like, super scrambled right now. I think it's because I'm, like, way too, like, relaxed. There was something I was gonna say. I don't remember now. I think I've been forgetting a lot of stuff that's on my mind. I just think the Silent Hill 2 remake is too bright. The dreary darkness of the original is key. Yeah, visual clarity, I guess, is just important, but sometimes to a fault. Sometimes people are so obsessed with making sure that you can see all the detail that you lose moodiness. I think I remember talking about this when I first streamed the Dead Space remake. I think I actually probably criticized how dark the game is, because even though it's aesthetically really cool and immersive, it does eventually start feeling a little bit frustrating, bumbling in the dark. But I think I said it back then, and I found myself repeating the same opinion in my recent playthrough of it, because I've been replaying it, is that I guess I kind of prefer that rather than the opposite, which is too much clarity to where things are a little bit boring. I remember that was like an issue I had with the original Dead Space, is that it's too bright. I can see too well. Does that make sense? I'm scrolling back up to make sure I haven't fixed anything. Fox engine should have become the standard. That engine is black magic. Are they ever even going to use that engine again? Konami has it, right? Still, it's like held hostage forever. Are they going to do anything with them? Game devs at AAA studios are getting lazy and rushed from agile.
Okay, I'm back.
I thought you were doing a soundboard thing.
The soundboard?
Yeah, because I suddenly I don't hear you. I just hear like. So I got super scared. All right, let me pull you back up.
Scary.
Are you enjoying your soda that looks like coffee?
Yeah.
Did they actually use Fox engine for pachinko, or are you making a joke?
I think they used it for Metal Gear Survive, and that was like it.
Love brought attention to the glass and fear. Look, he's speaking your language, Mina. Mina, fear, ooh.
I do like fear a lot. I don't remember the glass and fear for some reason.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember what it looked like. I don't think Fear had okay glass from what I remember, but everything else around Fear is like insane.
The Pro Evolution Soccer games use Fox engine. I feel I should be offended by that. But Mina's a big Fear fan, and that IP has had a lot of luck and has been doing super great.
That's basically one good game.
Is 2 really just not worth anything? Is it just not great?
It's okay. It's okay. It's like a, I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know. It doesn't. So Fear 2 is not really like. It's not bad, but it just kind of feels like. I don't know. It's like everything that really worked well in 1 is not really like improved on that much. Basically, it just kind of feels like. It feels like you're getting sort of like a here's Fear again, but the strong points of Fear are like weaker now, basically, if that makes sense.
So, give me an example of what's weaker.
Basically, it's overall like it's kind of combat gameplay flow isn't as good.
Encounters, etc.
Yeah.
What about AI intelligence?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a thing?
They don't feel as good as Fear 1. I feel like, just like the overall like the mood of the game too is like it feels a little more like kind of feels like edgy in Fear 2, like the story and like presentations a bit. It feels way less like, not that Fear 1 was super subtle or anything, but like
I feel like when Fear tries to scare me, it's more like
Yeah, but aside that though, like it feels like, I don't know, the second game just feels more like kind of like schlocky, like I don't know, like edgy horror basically. Whereas like the first one, it feels a little more like there's something a little like, it's not I wouldn't say it's a grounded story, but something about its world feels a little more grounded than like the second game.
That's the other thing about Fear, right? To where the premise is it's like a group It's an organization, and their task is to take out, like, bioweapons, more or less, right? Or investigate the supernatural.
It's like paranormal, like, military squad, basically.
Right, and then the sequel's, like, instead of, like, coming up with a new story and, oh, it's another team trying to take out another threat, instead it's just, oh, we gotta have it be a direct sequel to the events of the first game, right?
Yeah, which in the Fear team's not even involved in the second game is the funny. Like the second game, you're like Delta Force dudes, basically. So it's like the Fear like acronym's not even really like relevant at that point because it's not about the Fear like team anymore.
So then, how does it tie back to Alma again? And then the third game's also about her again, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what happens when you get your mascot character, like Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head shows up and everybody gets attached to it, and then the IP keeps going on, and they keep thinking of ways to bring back Pyramid Head instead of just telling new stories that are like unrelated.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's true or not, but I have heard that that they intended Fear to be kind of like an anthology. I don't know if it's true or not. This is like, I've heard people say this. I'm kind of like repeating, like regurgitating a thing I've heard somewhere. But
we're repeating
Fear
rumors.
Was like, yeah, that Fear was supposed to be like an anthology type of thing where the first game's about like, it's paranormal military team, but the threat of the game is Paxton, who is a telepath that basically controls a battalion of like clone soldiers, basically. It also ties back to Alma that has like a psychic kind of presence tied to him, basically. And it's like that was going to be like the first game's just going to be about that, and then 2 would be something else. It'd be Fear Team, but now it's like a different story, different like antagonist or whatever the threat is would be different, basically. But I guess because of the success of 1, that they just decided to let's just bring Alma back and then make her like the main kind of like mascot of the series, basically.
So Machina said, if you enjoy shooters, Fear is your go-to. If you like horror more, Fear 2 is for you, I feel. So what I need to understand is, what do you mean by a horror exactly? Because unfortunately, horror is like kind of vague. Do you mean it in an aesthetical presentation kind of standpoint or gameplay standpoint?
Probably aesthetical standpoint, because when I think of Fear 2, I think of it as Fear 1 is more, you're fighting like soldiers for the most part, and there's occasionally like spooky like jump scare and like atmospheric parts. Whereas Fear 2 is more like there is soldiers, but now there's creatures and like things that crawl on the walls, and like it's more it's more like upfront like horror kind of in its vibe through the whole game, basically.
Right. Would you say that's an element that maybe you don't like, that they throw off the balance, and maybe you appreciated Fear 1 for not leaning into the horror too much more than it already did?
Maybe, yeah. I feel like Fear 1 just balanced it really well. And maybe like Fear 2 is like, I mean, I usually like horror stuff, but maybe just, I don't know. I feel like the horror stuff is probably, I wouldn't say that's the issue of Fear 2. I think the issue of Fear 2 is more of like, just the overall like design of the game and the kind of script that they kind of like went with in the game, basically.
Zacho's belly button is, they're trying to take his belly buttons, like they're trying to do him. How would you like me to help? They wanted to skin him too.
Yeah, who's they?
Zacho. Oh, who's they? Who's trying to hurt him? I don't know. Yeah. Where are they? We'll protect you. Fear leans more into a horror direction with approach and art direction and enemies. A level is set in school where it's straight up ghost horror, for example. Maybe I'd actually enjoy it. I mean, I've never really seen much gameplay of 2 actually at all. Like, not even a little bit. You need help? Your girl needs help. How can, what do you want? How can we protect you? We won't let them get you. But I think I think we've done enough yapping. I think it's time to segue into Quake 2. Luckily, I don't even have a save for it at all on my computer. The only issue is I don't know if we balanced audio to where I'll be able to hear you properly and it.
Oh yeah.
I remember we have a oh no, I don't even own Quake 2. I had to buy it.
Oh, you don't even own it?
Where's the remaster? I see Quake 2 for $10.
That's it. If you own Quake 2, you own the remaster.
Okay, alright. I'm surprised I didn't buy it because I used to be a hater. Because I didn't like the music at first. Because you hear Quake 1 soundtrack, it's very dark ambience, atmospheric, and it's melodic dark ambience. It's not just bland noise that's not memorable. And then you get Quake 2, and they went into a very specific direction. They started to, because like Quake is like an amalgamation of different things, and then for the sequel they're like, okay, let's focus on the sci-fi stuff instead. And what was it like? Why did they go into this music direction again? I think you said it was because of somebody that was involved or not involved.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who decided that like this is the music, like how the soundtrack direction is going to be. But I do know that like composer for Quake 2 and 3, he sent id Software a demo tape as like a fan like Quake 1 kind of soundtrack that he like, you know, like a little demo reel basically, and then they hired him as a result of it.
Okay. I think how do I say this? I think I started chilling out about Quake music when I started playing the expansions for Quake 1, and I just had to accept that very quickly the genre changes. So now that I know what Quake music eventually becomes, I was able to start focusing on, okay, what is the later Quake music? And I'm like, you know what? Actually, it's good. It's entertaining. It's nice. And it's not as bad as that one expansion. The one expansion where it's got like, what doesn't it have like this weird comical sounding like piano or something? You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about the Quake 1 expansions, right?
Quake 1 expansions.
Like
it sounds quirky. It sounds like quirky.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like the song, like you boot up the level and you immediately hear like this like dun 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 dun, like kind of like piano.
I like when I hear Quake 2 and I'm like, oh, there it is. It sounds like Batman Beyond. We're in Batman Beyond era. Old thing good, new thing bad. Yes. But sometimes I like new things. Hold on, the game's downloaded now. Let me get the music back. So, Mina, you started off playing Quake 2 before Quake 1, right?
Yeah, I played all the Quake games in reverse order, actually. I played 3, then 2, then 1, like in that order.
Oh my.
It's weird. I think I got Quake 3. I think it came out in 1999. I got it for like Christmas or something like that, I'm pretty sure. And I'd always heard of like the Quake games around that time, but I just hadn't investigated them or like asked for them or anything. Because I mean, at that age, it's kind of like what you play is kind of what you get, or what people you know, relatives, etc., are just playing at the time, basically. So Quake just hadn't really come into my like peripheral until basically I just kind of randomly got it because my dad would just basically buy like PC games like for Christmas, and like I don't know, he would walk to like, you know, EB Games or GameStop or whoever it was at the time, Walmart, and he would just basically ask so what's the good PC games on the market right now? He would just buy them basically and get them for me for Christmas or my birthday or whatever. So Quake 3 just kind of just popped in from there basically. I liked Quake 3 when I played it. What I didn't like about it is that it was a like a bot match only game. There's no like single player campaign. It was just all like, you know, just kind of competitive multiplayer and like bot matches. So I played it a bit, but I didn't play a ton of it basically. My brother ended up getting like way more into Quake 3 because he got into the whole like clan, like, you know, like doing like scrimmages against like other clans and stuff like that, like the competitive scene type of thing, insta-gib, railgun, stuff like that. So I wasn't like super into that, but I did like the bit I played of Quake 3. And then later I saw Quake 2 in a game store at one point. I asked for it. This was like, you know, a few years later. There was it was like I don't remember what they call it, but it was like the big bundle where it comes with like Quake 2 and like all the expansions kind of bundled together as like one pack. I remember like I was torn because I was told I could get one game, and then I was like split between I was either going to get an Army Men game or the Quake 2 bundle. I ended up picking
Army
the Quake 2
Men.
bundle.
You mean like the Grain Army Men?
Yes. It was like there's the old isometric Army Men games I used to play.
You need to play those again. I'd be curious how they hold up.
Yeah, those are the ones I think they were published by 3DO, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I got Quake 2 instead, and I remember like I never finished Quake 2, but I played like quite a bit of it as well as the expansions. Like I would kind of randomly like play the base game, I'll randomly boot up the expansions and play through a bit of it. I would usually have the issue of getting lost in the levels at that age where I'd play it and not know like where you're supposed to go or what to do exactly. But I remember like playing it and thinking like the weapons in this, like they feel like cooler than the Quake 3 weapons, because it's stuff like the rocket launcher having like the little like ammo slot kind of like loading in, same with like the grenade launcher, like the hand grenade like being this like weird like twisty animation thing. Like I really liked like the weapons in Quake 2 whenever I played it when I was young. And I remember the soundtrack in the game as well. Like I remember thinking like hearing it and thinking like oh, is this like the same? This is like the same music in Batman Beyond, because like that was like airing around that time too, and so I thought it was like just the same like composer or something like that. Just did the same music for both things. It's like in hindsight, like now I listen to both of them, they don't exactly sound the same, but there are similarities.
Yeah, certain trends were like popular.
Yeah, and then when I was probably like 17 or 18, I bought Quake 1 on Steam out of curiosity, because like I'd heard of Quake 1, and I would listen to Quake 1's music actually outside of like playing it, because I was at the point where like I was a big like Nine Inch Nails fan when I was a teenager, and I discovered that like that he had composed the Quake 1 soundtrack. So there was like a pretty extensive period where like when I was in the Nine Inch Nails, I was also like listening to like the Quake 1 soundtrack as well. So I always had like curiosity about Quake 1, and at some point like the Quake games just kind of were like, there was one point when Steam didn't have actually that many games on it. They were kind of slowly putting more and more games on Steam. Eventually they got the whole like Quake bundle on there, so I bought the Quake bundle, and I'm like, all right, I want to check out Quake 1. And I played it, and it like instantly became like my favorite one. It's like it is just hands down the best one, I feel like, out of like all the Quake games, in terms of just the mood, the vibe, the movement, just the way the weapons feel in it and whatnot. It's like Quake 1 is just, it's so like precise and like tight, and the atmosphere is just top tier out of like all the games.
And it has more color than just brown. It's not just a brown game.
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to ask, since we were talking about like metal or music, the kind of music that's in Quake 2, that kind of edgy industrial kind of music. I kind of wish that we would get something like that again. I know that people say that what is his name again? I'm really bad at remembering names on the spot. The guy that does the new Doom music, not Holschult, but like
Mick Gordon.
Yeah, Mick Gordon. Like, doesn't it kind of feel like whenever boomer shooter games happen or new ones come out that they're trying to mimic his style a lot?
Yeah, I feel like New Doom has had a lot of influence on the like, I would say just like shooter kind of like genre in general, when it comes to like any shooter that's like movement shooter based or fast paced or like single player exclusive. I feel like New Doom games have had like a lot of influence on that market, like both aesthetically and from like gameplay perspective, I would say.
And now
a lot of them like
Painkiller sounds that way, right?
For a little bit I heard. I mean, New Painkiller in general, to be like, I saw like a bit of it, and it looks like it could just be like another Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal to me. It looks so similar to it, where like if you put them side by side, I probably would be like struggling to tell like which one's Doom and which one's Painkiller.
And I'm sure you're not exactly thrilled about that, because it's a bummer. I don't want like IPs to lose their identity because they're trying to be like, well, New Doom is the hot thing, so we want to get that audience, so we need to make sure our thing kind of mimics that thing.
I'm never a fan in like total like homogenization of like game genres or subgenres.
No, oh please God, no more boomer shooters with Andrew Holschult soundtracks. What's cool about him is he does have a lot of range, but I'm always like a fan of seeing like different talent come in and seeing different styles.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about like why I like Ion Fury so much is that Ion Fury, I feel like, is very it stands out. I feel like of all the like new wave of shooters, Ion Fury like feels very legitimate, like it feels like a legitimate like build engine game that came out in like 1999 or something like that, where it's like polished, very very polished, like, you know, Duke Nukem kind of like styled game basically.
It's genuine tracker music too, right?
Yes. Like the music is they got like a tracker music composer to do the soundtrack for it, and it's being, you know, like rendered through like an actual like real-time tracker in the game.
One thing that drives me crazy is metal's kind of dead, so I don't want to like kick it while it's down when it has like a little revival in the retro boomer shooter kind of scene. But sometimes it makes me sad because I think you can do boomer shooters without having to do that genre of music, like Iron Fury, but also, was it Supplice or the other game? The game that's it's very Doom map style, and people were critiquing the soundtrack and saying that it doesn't fit. And I think even some of them were saying like, oh, it should be metal instead. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mina? You streamed it recently, and it was new, and you liked the lore files in it.
I'm trying to think. Oh, you're talking about Supplice.
Did I say Supplice? I was thinking Supplice, but I was worried I was mixing it up with another retro boomer shooter.
I think it was Supplice. Yeah, I remember some people being critical of the music in Supplice, and I mean, to me, like Supplice's music, it's I feel like it's very good. It's composed by people from the Doom community, so when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, that's Doom. That's like Doom musicians. Like I recognize their styles from like all the like WADs and stuff I've played basically, but it's like I like their stuff. But I've seen some people like, you know, saying like, oh, it's too like I don't know, like it's too like soft sounding, or it's too like I don't know. I guess if it's not like hard or heavy enough, then it doesn't like fit like an FPS basically.
Yeah, which I don't think is cool. Especially like if you check out the modding scene for Doom, there's like a huge variety in music styles for Doom maps. Like, what is that one Doom mod that has the soundtrack that I love? And it's a really old Doom mod, and it's
the RTC 3057, where it's kind of like System Shock 2 kind of sounding.
Yeah. That soundtrack is fantastic.
Yeah, I like that one. But even like like John Romero was not like happy with like the Quake 1 soundtrack. Like, I love the Quake 1 soundtrack, but he's like he is of the opinion of it being like he's kind of referred to it as like quote unquote like not real music or something like that in Quake, because he just thinks it's like ambient like noise to him and not like music basically.
Which I get it. So, some people do not like my dad called Boards of Canada like elevator music. It's like he gets nothing out of it. There's some people who literally will not listen to music unless there's vocals in it too, which I just can't get into that.
Yeah.
But let's scroll up and catch up. My game just finished downloading, but I don't want to neglect chat too bad. I do apologize. You guys know how the collab stuff works. Hold on. If you play Quake and Fear at the same time, does Anubis from Ronin Warriors show up? Ronin Warriors? Do you know what that is?
I don't.
We're too out of touch. G Bill, Mom lets you have 2 nuns. Oh yeah, that's right. We're both nuns.
That's true.
Oh, do your lip. Then toggle, but you gotta switch to your other hair for it to work.
Okay.
We are nuns. We don't normally look the part. I think I look more obviously nunny, even without the veil, but Mina kind of needs the veil for it to like be clear.
Yeah.
Quake 1 had a set of Aztec-themed textures that got rejected for being too brown. I wonder, I mean, maybe that's the reason why the game has more color, because like there's lots of blue and is there much red in original Quake?
There's a bit of red. I can think of the blood and the lava textures.
Okay. No, not you, Ronin. I think somebody was mentioning something else. Something called Ronin Warriors. Personally, the Quake 3 and live soundtracks are my favorite. It's just pure early 2000s edgy electronic music. Oh yeah, speaking of Quake 3, didn't you recently revisit what Quake 3 soundtrack sounds like? And we found out that one of my favorite composers, Jesper Kide, I call him Jesper Kide. Jesper Kide did music for Quake 3, at least some songs, right?
No. That was Unreal Tournament 3.
Oh?
Yeah.
I thought you had some beef with one of these games because was it Unreal Tournament 3 then that like you didn't like its aesthetic because it was too different?
I never played Unreal Tournament 3 because I thought it looked too much like Gears of War, so like I never bothered to buy that game.
Okay. Yeah, we love Jesper Kide. Ronin Warriors is an anime from the late 80s. Okay, I might have heard of it by name, but I don't think I've ever experienced it. Holshot's best work was Dusk, followed by Doom 64. I'll stand by this. Doom 64? Do you mean...
I don't think he did anything. Doom 64 was Aubrey Hodges. Unless they're referring to just Andrew Holshot like remaking like the Doom 64 theme.
Right, because before he got industry gigs, like he was a band composer who would do metal covers of Doom and other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And Doom 64. Doom 64 is very cool. Mina has a very particular history with Doom, where history and perspective, where Mina actually likes when Doom leans into horror more, and a lot of it has to do with the PlayStation 1 version of Doom and Doom 64. So Doom has had lots of different interpretations from the very beginning, and it still persists to this day.
Yeah, my first experience with Doom was actually the PlayStation port of the game, which has the Aubrey Hodges soundtrack. It's similar in tone to Doom 64 from like a soundtrack and atmosphere perspective, but it has the visuals more of PC Doom, whereas Doom 64 is it has a whole new like tile set of like textures and whatnot. Doom 64 has a completely different vibe, whereas like PlayStation's kind of like between like Doom 64 and PC Doom, which I feel like it's kind of interesting. But yeah, it was my first experience with Doom was like that version of the game, but it's an ambient soundtrack. And I also like Doom 3. Doom 3 is a soft spot game for me.
I am now attempting to boot up Quake 2, and it's freezing. Is my computer that weak that I can't play
Quake 2?
Quake 2? I hope I didn't accidentally say Doom 2. If I did, I apologize. Alright, hold on. There's background music. Oh, no, it's all the chaos from the game. So I need to balance this. Usually, I have to have the volume so fucking low to be able to, like, talk over it. Can you guys hear the game? How does it sound so far? I'm gonna put my drink away. You put your drink away.
Okay.
So let's go to the game screen. I also notice anytime I do my transition, my ghost actually frees up. Alright, let's do... Where's Steam Capture? Oh, there we go, okay. Alright, so let me put myself over here. And then we're gonna make Mina a little small accessory to moi. Put you right here. I feel like I'm going insane. I feel like I'm hearing music coming from something besides the game. Quake 2 has several accessibility settings to increase readability of menu. What? Why is my mouse super heavy? Why am I struggling to Alt-Tab? I have to start, like, screen sharing this to you also so you can see properly. Yeah. If my computer can even handle this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I'm getting a new computer, so if this works out badly, we'll be able to resume this next time, I guess. But yeah, my mouse feels really heavy.
Maybe your sensitivity's too slow.
How do I get out of this? Also, how does this sound? Can you hear us okay over the game? I don't want to do this. Okay. Like, can I... Do I have to do this when it tells me to?
Probably. This is like modern modern video game needs to force you to look at a bunch of options before you start.
Enter. Hello? What? Like... Okay.
There we go.
Like, I wish I could tell you how bad this, like, feels. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, you hate mouth smoothing, right?
Yeah, it's off. Maybe you should up your sensitivity.
Horizontal or vertical or both?
Do both.
Alright.
Try like 5.
It still feels like sluggish. Is that okay?
It might feel different in the menu than it does in the game.
That's what I'm thinking of. Is there any other mandatory things that I want to mess with?
Go back. And let's go to display. So we got in here, if it would be nice FPS. Yeah, let's get this, Get these, like, bloom, get the depth of field off. Motion blur's already off.
Enhanced models, we can keep that on.
Yeah, you can keep it
on.
you
could. Do you want to turn off the muzzle flashes?
No, I like the muzzle flashes. I turn off dynamic shadows because that was on the original game. I don't like seeing the...
What about fog? Do we want the fog? I think the fog was originally there, right?
I can't remember if Quake 2 had fog or not. I would maybe leave it on for now and then see how it looks. And turn it off if you don't like how it looks. Okay. Let's go to gameplay now. Let's see.
Always
I don't like hit markers. I turn off hit markers. I don't like them. And
that's whenever you get hit and it shows you the direction you got hit from, right?
No, it's when you shoot an enemy and then you see a little like X up here on your crosshair. I don't like that in a single player game.
Okay. Also, Lord Zeno said that it didn't figure out fog tech until Quake 3, so safe to assume that it didn't have it.
Yeah, let's turn it off.
Thank you for that. Okay. Because I don't prefer fog, typically. It can be done okay.
Turn on... I like square particles. Do square particles. Yes, I like square particles more.
Oh, was it, like, if you turn square particles off, does it become triangles?
They become, like, circular. It's, like, blurry. Like, I don't like them. I don't like them when they're circles.
So, I guess we're able to just start playing, right? Nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the expansions?
Yep.
What's the deal with Quake 264 again?
So, Quake 264, it's kind of like Doom 64, where it got ported to the N64, and the levels are different.
Okay.
Basically. It's like, it has kind of unique maps, and it has, like, unique music and stuff to it. It's not in the PC version. They're much more small than the PC version of the game. There's also no crouching in it.
Also, Lord Zeno said, more to the point, Quake 2 did not require a GPU, but fog effects do. Quake 3 was the first id game to require one.
Yeah, so a lot of games back then would have software rendering as an option. Like Half-Life 1 also had software rendering as an option. Some of the effects, software rendering, are really cool looking also. I like how Half-Life looks in software.
Also, do you have chat pulled up? Because,
Yes.
Okay, cool. Machina said, depending on how it's handled, fog can be used to add depth to an environment when done well. And that's the problem, is I think every tool can be good when done well, but half the time, it feels like they go too far. Oh, we need to use bloom at 90%. No, what about, that 30% of bloom could be pretty cool? No, we gotta go all the way. It's that lack of restraint, because they don't want to restrain themselves. Yeah. What is it that they say? Like, limitations breed creativity or something like that?
Yeah.
So whenever you give people too much power, it's like they don't know how to hold back. And balance is so important. Shibi said, my first Doom experience was in my terminal. A coworker girl got fired, so he changed the project secrets and hid them behind playing and beating Doom in the terminal. Weird to get paid to play a game at the time. Wait, a terminal? Wait, what do you mean? I think I'm misunderstanding. And then Kunoichi said, Doom 64 is really interesting with how it leans more into, for lack of a better words, the more Nintendo design philosophy when it comes to levels where they're more based around looping back into themselves. So Nintendo was more about that kind of thing? What, did they start that with, like, Super Metroid? Like, we're talking about, like, shortcuts, right? Like, I like that in games. Like, whenever you're playing through a level and you finished doing a step, and then you leave a room and then it kind of points you in the direction where you need to go. Like, oh, now you go to this door, and it's a shortcut now to go back to the next area that you immediately need to go to. Like a code and terminal where you run commands line commands. Think of CMD or PowerShell. I think this is out of my knowledge range.
It's like DOS, basically.
Okay, that's why I don't know. So, is this the remade opening? This is not how it initially looked, right?
Yeah, this is like they actually like they did a whole new like render and remade this whole entire opening, which I think is kind of cool. I like the low fidelity graphics of the original one, but I understand they probably didn't have access to that original like project file or whatever, so they just opted instead of to AI upscale, which in my opinion would look really, really ugly if they just did the AI upscaling, if they actually just remade this whole opening, which is pretty cool.
I feel like this still looks good. I think I recall you saying that you feel that this isn't as moody at all points. At least like the shot of the ship you didn't feel like it was as good. I don't think it's too bad though. Not enough to like really complain.
I feel like it's done well enough.
Alright, my movement feels pretty good, and it has it set to where run is always on. When I played it on your computer, you had it to where it was toggle.
Yeah, hold on. I think we have texture filtering turned on. I don't like texture filtering also.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't like that either. I think it's ugly. I think things looking pixelated is fine.
Check display.
Oh, did you have to install a mod?
I don't think I did. Scroll up. Open video settings.
Texture smoothing.
Oh, texture smoothing. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Yes, we're playing with the muzzle flash on. Mina always hated Quake 2 not having muzzle flash. Like, Mina was ranting about it before the remaster was a thing.
Yeah.
There was something that I was gonna say.
It's also I don't know why you have shadows on. I thought I turned that off too. See how you have like shadows? That's also not in the original game. Dynamic shadows
huh?
It's off. Huh? How do we turn off shadows? Because it doesn't look like that in my version of the game. I don't have shadows.
Did you have to do a mod, or did you have to do a console command thing?
Check video settings.
Wait, video?
Oh, go to display, and it says open video settings. No, these are just like this is like the renderer.
We're trying to create the original experience, except Mina wants the muzzle flash, which was not in the original. Because no muzzle flash is kind of like lame.
I want it to be like retro plus looking, where like it looks old school, but with a little bit of, you know, enhanced like the better like high quality models and stuff.
Cause it's not it's not that they couldn't do muzzle flash back then. It's just for some reason they didn't. Okay, I'm returning. Hello. Did I have all the audio back? Okay. So Yokai said character shadows technically were in Quake 2, but not enabled by default. They were a bit buggy though. Do you remember that, Mina?
Yeah, I think there was like, let me think. I don't know if they were like full like character shaped like silhouetted shadows, or if they're just like a little like circle, like a little just kind of like a lot of games would do that kind of back then, where it's like there's a little like shadow like circle that's just kind of like, you know, like a little flat mesh underneath the model. I'm not sure how they worked in Quake 2 from what I remember.
Okay. All right, then I think we are good to go back. So. Oh, right. We have a wheel thing now. Because for controllers?
Yeah.
Amina likes the circular explosions.
The mesh explosions. I think they're funny.
So this had to have been wild for anybody who started off with Quake 1 and then played Quake 2 because of the tonal shifts, but I'm going to assume that most people probably were like, oh shit, this is way better. Because it's like, you know, it's like, oh, it's cool and epic.
Yeah. There's a big like tech leap between Quake 1 and 2 in terms of like Like when you look at like the geometry of the environment and like, you know, like the more kind of substantial like character animations and weapon animations and stuff like that, the like colored lighting and whatnot. Like there's a lot of like tech leaps between this and Quake 1.
So in this game, a lot of enemies have guns, whereas in Quake 1, you had to deal with, like, mostly melee, and then there were some projectiles?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things in the combat of Quake 2 is I feel like there's a lot more, like, hit scan enemies that just kind of shoot you in this game. While they're still, like, they are, like, avoidable in a lot of cases where you can move and, like, avoid getting shot by them. It feels like in Quake 2, you're just kind of more prone to just getting hit more often than Quake 1.
Which feels frustrating, because, like, instinctively it makes me feel like, okay, I must be doing something wrong. It's like, no, this is just a game where you're gonna take damage and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Or you can get good. I keep wanting to hit control for crouch.
Yeah, you can rebind that. That's because I rebounded on my computer.
Okay, let me do that then. Input. Customize bindings. Alright. And then what should I do with shift? Just leave it alone?
The run/walk, probably.
Alright. I don't think I need to worry about it right now. So,
Okay.
I learned from Mina, you use the, infinite ammo gun for a flashlight. And
Yeah, that's what I use it for.
I forgot, did we establish if we think that was intentional or not?
I'm not sure. I don't know if in the original Quake 2, it's been a while since I played the original, like, vanilla version of the game. I don't know if it actually lights up in, like, a radius around you or not.
So when enemies go down, they'll do their last dying shot, so you gotta be careful. You can give them to make them to where they can't damage you while they're dying.
Yeah, some enemies will do it and some don't, and it's kind of random, like, which animation they do on death, so it makes it a little bit unpredictable when you kill them. I do think it's a cool feature.
I got a silencer. I don't remember getting that when I last played. And also for
you
anybody,
probably didn't pick that up last time.
For anybody who's new, I only played a bit of Quake 2 off stream, but I haven't experienced most of it. So after a certain point, we'll be into like completely new territory for myself. Oh.
I don't know how you feel about I think it's an accessibility option, but like there's this like modern looking like font text that kind of pops up. I don't like how it looks. I like when it's in the original like Quake 2 font.
So I actually have a trigger regarding that. Whenever I see games that are you know, remasters of older games or games that are trying to seem retro and they have overly crisp and clear font, I have a weird disconnect with it where I'm like,
Yeah,
no, that's not how it would have been.
Go to the accessibility options. I think we can turn that off.
Yeah, this text, it's too clear.
Is it alternate typeface, maybe?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, I will read the post, but since we're like doing a collab and I'm playing a game, it's a little bit harder to get to chat quicker. But it's funny that you mentioned that. I was actually about to mention to Mina that since I'm going to be focusing on the game, if Mina wants to read things out for chat for me, that might make it a little bit easier on me. If you know, if you feel like it, Mina. One thing I wanted to mention before continuing is this game introduced the like fancy death animations, right? In Quake 1, I think they just like kind of fall over, right?
They would kind of they would kind of like just flop over, like lay on their back or whatever. Yeah, here they have some very extensive, some very long death animations at times, which is like it's pretty impressive for the time, especially considering that these animations were done without like skeletons. They did not have like skeletal animation in this game. It was all like vertex based still.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a dead guy there. Sorry, Mina.
Which, like, I feel like the best way to sort of like describe that is it's kind of like stop motion, basically, where I think the artist would have to basically like move the mesh into like shape keys for every like frame of the animation, basically, which is a pain in the ass. to do versus just having like a skeleton kind of do the interpolation of like the in-betweens of the movement, basically.
You prefer that, and well, not vertex or whatever, but you prefer how do I say it? What's the opposite of ragdoll?
Oh, I mean, you can have ragdoll or you can just have death animations. Okay. I kind of prefer having death animations in games because I feel like ragdolls are funny. Like, I do feel like there's a charm in ragdolls, and you can get some pretty entertaining stuff out of ragdolls. But I also kind of like I like the crispness of like just like a really well made like
is that
hit
texture
and, like,
stretching?
kill animation in the game.
Is that stretching?
Yeah, it might be. It looks like I just see seams there. Some seams in the model there.
Can you read what Lord Zeno's been talking about, or Zeno? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
It said they can confirm the full character shadows were there, but they killed your frame rate unless you're running paired Voodoo 2s and SLI. I'm guessing that because Half-Life 1, I remember they showed some early Half-Life 1 footage of having like full character shadows in it. I was always wondering if that was like something that was left over from like the Quake technology, which ended up not being. Those shadows ended up not being in the final release of Half-Life, I think, because of like performance and like just the bugginess of them. There's a lot of Z fighting with them, if I remember. But if you downloaded the old like uplink demo for Half-Life, you could actually enable those shadows and like see them in game. They're very janky.
I think I'm lost. I get lost in games more than Mina does. Because like there's multiple ways you can get to the same place, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the levels are kind of like this game like predates like Unreal, but it kind of like Unreal kind of goes on the same philosophy that Quake 2 does, where it's sort of like each level is like part of like a hub almost, where it's a set of 3 or 4 levels that you progress through, and sometimes you will kind of go through a level and then it kind of interconnects back to a previous level to then let you like finish that sequence, basically. So levels are a bit more, instead of just being like one map that's self-contained and then you're done and out, the levels have a bit more like connectivity to them.
Can you bunny hop in this game like you can in Quake 1, or is it a little bit different?
You can bunny hop.
I need my other gun. That's why they're not fucking dying.
You can bunny hop. The physics feel a little different in this game. I don't like how Quake 2's physics feel as much as Quake 1.
Fucking die! I must have been missing more than I realized. Oh, what else has Zeno said?
The last thing I read was the last thing they said, I think.
They might. Oh, did they not say anything before it?
Oh, they did say the lighting from the pistol. I think they're saying that was intentional. It was like a talking point of Quake 2.
Oh, okay. That's cool then. Because, I mean, they put you in such dark areas. Also, great texture work. So this is a lot more advanced than Quake 1. I think there's also a larger variety of textures and decal, etc.
Yeah, Quake 2 is more like, it's a more focused kind of texture set where like the whole game is kind of like tech-based theme, basically. So you get, every level is like tech-based, but there's more like variety of those tech-based textures, basically. Whereas Quake 1 is like each episode kind of has a different tile set, but I don't think there's as many textures for each tile set as there are for the entirety of like this game. There's a lot of like little detail textures in this game, stuff like signs and computers, boxes, different types of walls and ceilings and floors, etc.
So after the remaster, how do you like? How much do you like Quake 2 now that it's been like it's fixed most of the issues that you had with it, even whenever you first played it?
So I always liked Quake 2, but like I feel like I can't say that I like Quake 2 more than Quake 1, but I feel like this is a very good 90s shooter game. I think it's definitely up there as like one of the best. And I feel like the remaster just the few issues I had with this game, most of them were like remedied in this remaster. Or at least, at least improved in some way to where it like doesn't irk me as much.
Also, for anybody who wasn't here at the beginning, we are playing on medium difficulty. Is that what I was playing off stream?
Yeah, you're doing like the normal, medium,
Okay.
whatever, whichever it is. The consequence of vertex-based animations is the weapon and character models look fine in software renderer, but would wobble a bit when using the GPU. Id modeler Paul Steed made a multiplayer model of a busty female, and the vertices made her boobs pulsate. Yeah, when you're playing this game and you're using the original models that are not enhanced, it's using the original vertex animation. You get that weird, like jiggly wobbliness, and it's because of like the whole mesh is being like updated like every single frame, and it's basically kind of it's having to recalculate the position of like all the vertices in the world on every single frame, which makes it where they like offset just a little bit on each frame, and it gives it that weird like jiggly kind of look where it looks like your like guns and like the character models are like gelatin or something like that. I've experienced that like a lot, and I've also like I've messed with like like gun animation in like the past, and like at one point like I rigged a model trying to like manipulate the mesh and not like the skeleton before I knew like what I was doing, and I've seen it like happen like in like Source Engine with like weird like jiggly models.
Also, Quake 1 also had, I think it did, whenever you, gradually damage an enemy more and more, they start getting more bloodied. Isn't that like that in Quake 1, or is that more of a
No.
Quake 2 thing?
That's a Quake 2 feature where the textures on the enemies, they have like 2 or 3 like variants of their character skin, and the texture or the skin model will like swap based on their health value.
Right.
The game Sin also Sin's cool because they iterated on that feature further, where they divided it up into hitboxes where the texture will change based on which hitbox you hit, instead of it just being like the entire character mesh texture changing. So if you shoot someone in the head, then like just their head will get bloody in Sin, or if you shoot them like in the chest, then like you'll see like their armor kind of like shredded up, like bullet holes as they get like lower health.
Also, I think I know what may have confused me is I think some of the models in Quake 1, they have a bloody look by default.
Some of them do, yes.
But there was what I was gonna say is PlayStation 1 does that, right? Where it has the wobbling, like wobbling animation.
Oh,
like PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah, I think that's similar. Yes, that's like I think they call that vertex snapping, and I think it's because the vertices in the world on PlayStation games, it snaps to like a grid basically on each frame. I think it's a similar but not entirely. It's not entirely the same issue as like the lack of skeletal animation that's in like the Quake games.
Also, figured that this would be a good point to segue into this, but basically, your game, Devin, you're wanting to make a game that's reminiscent of games of kind of like this and the Half-Life period, and you're now you've been doing lots of making your own textures, programming, etc. Right now, you're now studying 3D modeling, and you're actually using the modeler who did stuff for Quake and Quake 2 as your like kind of like mentor, so to speak, Paul Steed.
Yeah, I've been reading his like the intro to character modeling book. So it's not my like I've been modeling in Blender for like a couple of years, but I haven't dabbled into like much like organic sort of modeling in terms of like like modeling a character or like a person or any sort of like non-hard surface type of thing. So I went with that book because it's like I like Paul Steed's work on the Quake games. I like his character designs, and I was basically just kind of curious, like what's the work, like what is his workflow kind of like? Basically, it's a little bit difficult reading it because it was made for 3ds Max, whereas I'm using Blender, so I have to kind of translate. Yeah, like I have to kind of read things and sort of interpret like what is this tool or what is this like workflow he's doing? How does that how do I do that in Blender? And some things in Blender are actually just easier to do than the workflow I feel like that he is presenting in some cases. So I'm not exactly like to a T like following everything that he's doing, exactly as is, because a lot of things have just been over the years have been like iterated on, and just there's like easier workflow to some of this stuff basically. But yeah, I've enjoyed reading it and like using it, yeah, kind of as like a sort of like a inspiration and kind of like a little bit of like a practice thing too. So again, like I haven't really done much character modeling animation or character modeling in general yet, so I feel like it's been pretty interesting and helpful for that. And it's been difficult. Like I find the modeling things in general to me is a little bit of a struggle. I'm not super great at doing it. I have to kind of like fight my way through it.
It's also going to be like more complicated to model like organic like characters rather than like a gun, which is like a bunch of, you know, inorganic shapes, rectangles, cylinders, etc. Whereas a human's way more complex.
Yeah. The other reason why I'm following the book too is that he is specifically teaching modeling characters that are low poly at the time that he wrote the book. So the target poly count for the model that he goes in the book is 1,500 triangles, which I think he released in like 2002 or 2003 around that time. That was pretty, like 1,500 polygons was pretty, I'd say that's pretty like, probably average of the time, basically. We're into like the 2000s at this point, so I would say like for what I'm going for in like my game, I'm kind of going for like Half-Life 1 era, where I feel like character models are probably closer to like...
Oh, these guys. I hate these guys.
They're closer probably to around like 500-600 triangles, so his model's a little bit higher fidelity versus like what I'm wanting to go for, but I feel like it's still a good like basis for learning like modeling something and then getting it into like a lower poly kind of target, basically. Because there's particular things about like modeling things high poly versus low poly. There's different like techniques and like sort of like
what the fuck?
Some of the barrels are some of the barrels have more health than the others.
The fuck is that? I don't remember getting on this when we played.
Yeah, this is a secret level. You didn't find this last time we played.
Oh, okay. Also, what's chat talking about?
So Quake had a feature in a total version called Shrek, which is damaged models. Sin and Kingpin refined the use of the pain skins and also had limited use of locational damage. I remember that being like a big thing in Sin. Like a big like selling point of that game is that it's like it had locational based damage. Like you could do like headshots and stuff. And I think even the player, like that's why like sometimes Sin's gameplay feels a little bit like random at times, because I think the player could be shot in the head as well as the enemies being able to be shot in the head. So there's times where you would die a lot faster in Sin because your head's getting shot.
Hey, am I supposed to be able to make this?
I don't think there's anything up there.
I wish I had like a little axe.
The pistol is your axe.
Ugh. How? Is that all there is to this area?
No, you didn't go all the way up.
Oh, okay. So we got lots of baked-in lighting. This is a very nice era of lighting. I liked baked-in lighting like this.
Bacon lighting.
Bacon lighting, that's right. That's what you're wanting to do for your game too.
Yeah. I plan to use...
Oh! Hey!
It's a fish. Fucking... Being attacked by a fish.
Ugh. Where? What?
I've been kind of experimenting with, like, different lighting techniques. I definitely don't want to go for real-time lighting unless I, like, absolutely have to, which I don't really plan to use as much as possible. But, I want to go for more, baked lighting, whether that's through the method of vertex lighting, which is like painting lighting directly, or using light maps. Light maps is basically you can kind of place your lighting. You can place your lighting in the environment, like an engine, such as like Unreal Engine or whatnot. You can like place the lights, and then you use like a method that then like bakes that lighting directly into the environments on like a separate like UV channel, basically. That's how
that's how
Quake and like Half-Life use the light maps, from what I remember. And I might even use like a hybrid approach. I might use light maps as like a basis, and then use like vertex painting as like a way of like accenting the lighting further. But if I want to do stuff like having like blinking lights and like, you know, any sort of like dynamic, like a light turning off and on, I have to figure out how that exactly works without going the method of like having actual like dynamic lighting in the environment.
Something's timed? This level's beating the shit out of me. Mina?
Yeah, it's a secret level. They're usually a little bit. Secret levels are usually a little harder than the base levels.
Whenever I feel like the enemy that I hate dealing with the most of all enemies is that damn dog with the ton.
Oh yeah, the thing it reacts really fast. It shoots that tongue out really quick, but if you break line of sight with it, you can like minimize damage.
Yeah, but that requires thinking, and you know I'm not about that. Also, you're being asked if you played Chasm the Rift, which you actually played recently.
Yeah, I played it a couple of years ago.
No, huh?
There's a new re-release of it. I played a shovelware, like not shovelware, but abandonware version of the game. It was kind of a pain in the ass to get running, I remember, and the game was decent.
Oh.
My biggest issue with that game is how gigantic the collisions on like the player and the enemies are in that game, where it feels like everything is like just got this huge like 3-meter wide like fucking hitbox on everything.
Also, I got confused for a second. I accidentally hit a key and it said, "Oh, you're out of items." So I'm like, "Oh, do I not have ammo for my shotgun at all?" And it lets me pull it out, but if I shoot, it won't shoot anything. And then it's like, "Oh, right, we have a super shotgun in this game. I forgot. We just don't have it yet."
Leeds Dorcina says, "I had a friend who made character models. His Quake 2 model super male was possible, and he entered a character model contest that Steed helped judge. At the time, the general standard for a multiplayer model was 300 triangles, but the contest let you push it to 400. I feel like that sounds about right.
What was the thing that was in that book to where he was making a model for somebody for a contest or something, but then for the tutorial book he made her more like sexy and like cool?
Yeah, so the character model that he uses as his sort of like tutorial character, basically, that he models, she was made for a contest. I can't remember if he said it was a GDC or some sort of GameCon type of thing, but it was basically like a women's vote character model for like, you know, like women would basically vote on like their like favorite one for the contest, basically. And he said that he kind of made her like he made her kind of reserved, basically. He made her kind of like a little bit like reserved and not super sexualized or anything like that for the purpose of the contest. And she ended up winning. He said that she won second place, and for the purpose of the book, he's like, well, I'm going to repurpose her for the book, and now I'm going to I'm going to like you know, buff her assets a little bit here, because he's not making it for someone now at this point.
So am I making a mistake by like popping out and poking my head to shoot whenever I want? It's like I think I'm not waiting for their pattern of shooting to stop. If that makes sense.
Yeah, if they're firing like a full auto burst, you might want to like wait for them to stop shooting before you peek out.
Is there any reason to use the normal shotgun instead of the super shotgun in this game?
In this game, once I get the super shotgun, I don't really go back to the normal one that often, unless I'm just specifically trying to hit someone at further range. But at longer range, I'm usually using like, I don't know, the machine gun or the pistol or something.
So, it was mentioned that, yes, Paul Steed passed away a long time ago when he was very young, which is, like, crazy because the guy was super talented. He seemed like a very interesting character from, like, interviews, people recounting interactions with him and stuff. I like his philosophy of sexy women. It's based. What do you got to say about that, Mina? You're the Paul Steed expert, and I'm gaming.
Yeah, the character I'm answering Lord Cena. The character he uses in the book, she's named Callisto.
Callisto Protocol, his favorite game.
Callisto Protocol.
Oh wait, I don't want to go up there.
She looks like a she's more like a Quake 3 kind of era fidelity character than like a Quake 1 or 2 character.
Oh right. Whenever the music stops, that means that
You're done.
Done the
Your
last
objectives
thing.
are done, basically.
Get out of here. Which is kind of nice. Am I supposed to go? Oh!
I like when enemies in this game, like, you shoot them and they kind of, like, react to being shot where it, like, knocks them around.
So, Mina, when are you gonna stream, Blood 2?
I already did Blood 2.
But you haven't played Blood 2 2 times.
That's a game that you should only ever play one time in your life.
Or 0 times.
Never...
Mina legendarily beat the game. But it was a fluke, right? Technically.
Was that last year or the year before last? I can't even remember now.
I think you were 3D then, still.
I think you're right.
No! Oh.
Blood 2 was barely beatable, and I don't even think it was beatable. I had to cheat after the first boss of the game, I think, where you're in like a church.
You didn't cheat. The game broke.
Yeah, well, like when you kill the boss, it would play a cutscene where an NPC talks to you, and during the cutscene, the NPC would like shoot and kill you, like before you like have control of your character. So I literally had to like God mode it to like get through that part.
There was also that boss where you were in a cavern with water that slows you down, and you had to fight a boss that had like 1,000,000 HP. Do you remember that? And then the boss got stuck in the wall and kept running up the wall. Because you can't fucking maneuver during that fight. But he can. But because he got stuck, you were able to kind of stand a chance. I remember that was like your point where you're like, if I can't beat this boss, I'm just going to like drop the game here. But the game kept allowing you to progress, or you would keep finding a way to progress. What is this? What ammo is this?
That's machine gun.
Oh. I don't have any... No. Where's my... There we go.
Yeah, use the machine gun.
Yeah. It doesn't feel as good. The super shotgun in this feels really nice. How do I escape? I just went back to the beginning.
Yeah, that's where you go.
Oh.
Press F1. Press F1. That's your mission objectives. It'll tell you.
Well, I'm not going to understand anything by reading, Mina.
Resume previous mission. What does that mean?
Leaving the optional quest area. Whatever. Oh, right.
Blood 2's art, half-finished painting a Lift Tech 1, yeah. Blood 2 is a game that, like, I feel like if that game got, like, another, like, year of development or something, like, I feel like it could have actually been a pretty damn good game. There's a lot of cool stuff in Blood 2, but it's just...
The first area is so cool, but, God.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff in the game. It's just... It is so clearly not done.
There's somebody behind me! Oh, right, there's grenades in this game, isn't there? That's what I did when I was last in this area. Like, when I played off-stream, I mean. The machine gun doesn't feel that great in this. It feels kind of like a pea shooter.
It's alright.
But, I know they gotta, like, worry about ear fatigue, but sometimes I feel like guns go too far and that they sound lame to shoot.
Yeah.
If you have it sound like a real gun, your ears would explode.
The machine gun, it sounds like the Resident Evil 1 pistol.
You're right. Wait, that's a friend! Ah!
That's the environment suit.
I'm running out of ammo. Is this the beginner's trap? Fuck! No!
I like you ask it as you're jumping into it.
Yeah. I think I did that last time, too. Perpetual beginner, I suppose. Damn beginner's trap. That. So who's the evil that started bullying in boomer shooters? Who do we have to thank for that?
It's probably John Romero.
John Romero.
So like Doom episode 1 has acid pits where if you fall into them, you can't get out of them. You just die, basically. The inescapable death pits. You can thank John Romero for that. And then Sandy Peterson's level design is like very trolly in Doom.
I don't have any shotgun, man. Who's the one that did? It was like in like a Doom Platonia experiment. I don't know. The one that it's like a maze of archviles.
Oh yeah, Dario Casali. Yeah, he did like half the levels in Platonia experiment, and he did the the infamous archvile maze. And Dario Casali was one of the level designers on Half-Life as well.
Okay. Oh, that's right. We were watching his let's play blog thing. Hold on. Where is
hand grenade? You have to do the weapon wheel. There you go. No, oh, you don't have any.
I was trying to remember. There's Q, and then there's like, what's the other button? It's like E. Yeah, how the hell do I not have grenades? Because I remember doing this part with a grenade, I think. Because I have no shotgun.
I think you just missed them.
Damn.
Yeah! Dario Casali did some great Half-Life levels. He did a lot of I don't know if he did all of it, but he did most of Surface Tension in Half-Life, like the whole like dam, the dam section of Half-Life. I think he did Questionable Ethics as well. He did a Power Up with like the Gargantua. I can't remember if he did Lambda. He did like the Lambda core levels too.
So
I like the red textures in here.
Quake 2 in general uses more red than Quake 1 did, right?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
I'm leaving. There was something I was gonna say, but I forgot. So, damn it. The composer is Sonic Mayhem, right?
Yes. Yeah, he also did Quake 3.
Doesn't Quake 3... Don't we like the sound of Quake 3 more than Quake 2 in ways?
I feel like his production on Quake 3 is, like, much better than Quake 2's. Especially the, like, because not all of his music that he wrote for Quake 3 made it to the game. If you listen to, like, the Quake 3, like, noise soundtrack that he released separately, like, there's a lot of really good tracks on that. Only a few of those tracks are actually in the game.
I'm actually doing okay health-wise. I'll commit to this. Stupid goddamn bastard. Fuck.
The hit scans.
Ugh. Are they hit scans? I know there's some hit scans, but not everything is, at least. Thank God.
Yeah.
Ooh, I heard a
quite
gun.
a few. There's quite a few hit scans in this game.
I miss! This game would be so much better if I just didn't suck! I'm not going down that evil pit again. What is this? Give me that!
Yeah, Quake 3 had... Yeah, I think it was Frontline Assembly. There's a few tracks by them in that, too.
Gore system's really awesome in this.
Yeah, I love the Gibbs.
You ever want to mess with something like that? In your game?
Yes. I plan on having... probably gibbing at, like, extreme damage values, but mostly I want, like... I kind of want, like, locational-based damage, kind of like in Sin, basically, where like if you headshot an enemy, I kind of want like locational based kind of like damage to the mesh, basically.
I don't have any more ammo. Hey, how come I'm sucking? Oh, it's because I missed so much ammo. I forgot. Because this went smoother when I wasn't being watched by y'all. Okay, okay, it's the debuff. Okay. Ooh, never mind. Game's easy. I was just joking.
Yeah, I heard supposedly, yeah, Rob Zombie contributed one track to Quake 2. What wasn't it like the intro track? Like whenever, like the music that plays like when it's like flying over the planet. I feel like I've heard that like supposedly like Rob Zombie like contributed that song to the game.
That'd be kind of cool.
And I think I'm pretty sure Bill Brown also did that like one. I'm pretty sure Bill Brown was also in Quake 2. I feel like he did the like one like ambient kind of orchestral track that plays like before you fight like the boss toward the end of Quake 2.
Also, they're in fight and it saved me. Oh no! Oh, I want fucking grenades too. Oh, they shoot 6.
Yeah. Now there's your hand grenade.
Do you have a health item?
Can you? You do not. I know you can get one though.
I don't need backseating from you. Easiest game I've ever played in my life. Alright, alright. I love the sky in this, although I wish it was more blood red.
It's more orangey.
Yeah, I like when things are like just the deep red. Like in Doom 3, they have it to where when you go to hell, the entire sky is like a solid flat color, or at least mostly it looks like a solid flat color, and it's just red. No other colors. Makes it look more spooky. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mina here is the rare Doom 3 fan, by the way.
Yeah.
Secondary
I actually like Doom 3 a lot.
Did I get a key card? Oh, here, right, I forgot. You're supposed to wait, and then the animation of it.
Yeah.
Hello, AV Fusion, how are you? Don't forget to not neglect chat. I can neglect them, but we can't both do it. Quake 2 still... Yeah, the infighting is actually what helped me earlier, because, like, right here, this dog, whatever, suddenly started aggroing on this guy, and that's what got him off my ass for a bit. Infighting's always fun.
Getting, like, hit scan enemies to infights usually what happens. Like, when you're getting shot at, if you're, like, strafing, you can kind of, like, walk in between you and, like, another enemy and get them to kind of fight that way, but it does feel like it's harder to trigger than, like, in Doom.
Huh? What does this make you run fast?
No, adrenaline's it's the heal thing.
Oh, okay, so it's a troll no matter what you do.
No.
What?
No, you picked up a thing that'll help you down here.
How? How? How does that help you?
It's not that. It's something else you picked up.
Get me in here! What else do you pick up in here?
You already picked it up. It wasn't from here.
What was? Oh. But if I use the suit, the only thing that I get is a stupid little pack thing.
That's what it's for.
That ain't worth it. I don't need that.
The adrenaline's a permanent health upgrade. I don't know why you wouldn't want it.
Oh, I thought it was a temporary. Okay, look. Okay,
no.
Look, mister. Okay. Ah! Okay, look, that sun was in my eyes, okay? Okay, that, I don't...
Oh no, you lost one.
I want to land on the... I want to
one
land
health.
on the door!
Oh no. My god. If you lose at 1 HP, it's just over.
I can literally lose 0 HP if I just do it this way, okay? Okay, how do I do the... Where's the suit? This.
Yeah.
Huh? Huh?
Wow.
I don't want that suit
Incredible.
anymore. I don't want that suit anymore.
It just auto uses. You can't like turn it off and on.
Very well, very well. All right, I got a blue door. I gotta try to remember where it goes.
And you also have like the remaster added in like the dead space like beat boop like to show you where to go thing.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, that's for newbies. You're not a newbie at Quake 2, are you?
No. No. How painful is it to watch somebody like me play one of your games poorly?
I'm fine.
Okay. You knew what it would be like.
Let's see. So pretty sure Rob's song is the Fly Everyone. A lot of people thought it was the track for the first level since it has heavy guitar, but that one sent to Cerberon is Sonic Mayhem.
Get away from me!
I think I always heard it was the intro track. I like the projectile weapons make enemies like crouch in this game.
It makes them crouch?
Yeah, like they kind of like they're trying to duck the shots of the projectile.
Okay, I think you gotta get that checked out. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. My grenades! Yay! What if I stay here forever? Yeah. Hey, Mina, how do you think I'll fare against Quake 2 deathmatch against you whenever we do a thing on my server? Hey, by the way, if you guys are interested, type !Discord. I'm planning to host Quake 1 and Quake 2 parties, and we're all gonna have lots of fun, and everybody's gonna see the PumpkinSynth username above my head, and they're gonna be like, oh, don't shoot her. Yeah! Yeah! That's what's gonna happen to you. Think twice! What the hell? How did he... Oh, you can actually shoot... There's actually... You can actually shoot through these. Because some games would have it to where there would be like an invisible wall, even though it's clearly hollow. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, I'm gonna shoot this. I'm like, wait a second. No. I try not to quick save too much. I don't want to save scum. Sometimes I do it, though, for navigation reasons and also just bad habit.
Hee.
I hear those motherfuckers.
I love the flag enemies. They have their stupid little like blades on them and they try to slash you.
He tried to do melee. So how do you rate this shotgun?
I feel like this is like... So actually, I feel like I like this more than the Quake 1 Super Shotgun.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think I like it as much as the Doom 2 Super Shotgun. I feel like Doom 2 Super Shotgun's like a 10 out of 10. This is like a... 8.5 to 9 kind of range. It's a pretty good one. I feel like it's actually a really good Super Shotgun.
Mina hates the Doom 3 shotgun, but there's been people that have been saying that Doom 3 shotgun's actually good. We saw like a YouTube comment section mention that Amina was offended.
The Doom 3 shotgun is...
Oh!
How do I describe the Doom 3 shotgun? It's more of a melee weapon than it is a shotgun, basically. And if you use it like a melee weapon, it's actually pretty potent. But it's just a little bit... It's a little bit undertuned, I feel like, at how close you have to get to make it effective. My problem is, like, if you're beyond, like, 2 feet, the Doom 3 shotgun is like a complete and utter... like roll the dice if it will instantly kill or do nothing to the person in front of you, basically.
Which feels weird. Here's your shotgun, but you need to aim in the eye socket.
Yeah, like it has to be like so close that you're basically touching them. I feel like if the spread of the Doom 3 shotgun was just, if it was like tightened, maybe like 20%, maybe, I feel like it would be much less of an issue.
So I don't like, from what I remember, I don't like how the grenade launcher feels in this game compared to Quake 1.
It's a lot slower in this game. I feel like that's the issue with it.
The physics also feel different. It's not bad, but the physics feel different.
It's a bit less bouncy than Quake 1.
Oh, and this also, the grenades in this are also kind of crazy, but not as crazy as I think Doom 3 grenades you said.
The Doom 3 grenades are ridiculous. The grenades in this are kind of more like Half-Life grenades, where it's like the longer you hold them down, the further they throw, basically. But they also cook, too.
I know it. Is this
actually like
secret?
There might be a secret down here. The grenades in this are like, they're kind of fine. They're serviceable. I feel like they take a little too long to get their strength up to throw them far. But they're like kind of fine in this. And the Doom 3 grenades too are actually fine when you like kind of learn how to use them, but they're very weird because they bounce like a bouncy ball. Like you'll barely like drop it and just see the thing just like ricocheting like off the floor and walls and stuff from like a tiny drop of it. It's really funny.
I started noticing they're crouching. I found a secret. I think it was just like a shotgun pickup or whatever.
Was there a super shotgun?
Yeah, I think it was. Just in case like I missed it. Oh, this. Wait, I thought I started hearing the opening sound like the wow, 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 which is really cool. Is that what's happening, or is that explosions that I'm hearing in the background? Hold on, I'm getting a little bit lost. I gotta get out of this area, or I'm gonna have a claustrophobic attack. I'm having an attack! I'm having an attack! Help! Help! Okay, not rhetorical. Help! Help!
Oh,
not rhetorical! Not rhetorical! Help! It's...
Okay, stop where you are.
Never mind, I found it.
There you go.
Easy. Alright.
Alright. You beat the first chapter.
Wow. How far did I get in this whenever we played off stream?
You finished like this, and then I think you finished like the second chapter, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So what, did I get like 25% through the game?
Yeah, somewhere around there, like 20%.
Damn it, I can't even enter anywhere and just relax. I want my high octane epic game. What do you think of that, Mina? What do you think about that quote we keep making fun of, modern Doom fans or whatever, to where they get mad when modern Doom is too hard or something, and they say they want to be able to relax.
I want a high octane shooter in which I can relax.
What if they were saying it ironically, but I don't remember the context fully? Give them the context of what we're talking about, though. I think it was it related to Doom Eternal? It was a
review. Yeah, it was a Doom Eternal review where someone reviewed it was a Steam review I read where they like, oh, I've never found that secret.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm the master, I'm the master, I'm the master, you're the servant. Okay.
There's a Steam review I saw for Doom Eternal where they played like 90 minutes of the game and then reviewed it and like gave it a bad review, saying like they're like I wanted something more like Doom 2016 where they're like I want a fast-paced, high-octane shooter in which I can relax, not something that's going to make me get frustrated and angry at the game or something like that.
Wait.
I thought the phrase of high-octane also relaxing is like, it's like an oxymoron. I thought that was funny. There's a cap of how many items you can hold at one time.
Yeah,
if you play on hard, if you play on harder difficulty, you can only have one of those at a time.
Fair. I prefer when it's like, instead of holding items, I prefer when it's instant pickups.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
The context of Doom Eternal, I guess, is that they require specific ways to kill enemies, or so you've told me, right? Like, you can't just do whatever you want. Like, there's certain techniques for different enemies.
The enemies in Doom Eternal are kind of like... There's a lot of, like... You know when you played, what was that game that...
Yep, I was thinking of Fashion Police Squad.
Yeah, the Fashion... It's like that, where it's like...
Right.
The enemies are you have to like use specific weapons and hit certain spots with certain weapons to like effectively kill them. It's a bit more like egregious in Fashion Police Squad because that game is like there's only like one way to do it, whereas in Doom Eternal, it's usually not one way, but it's highly encouraged that you do it that way, basically.
The way
where it's designed in a way where if you're not doing it the way they intend you to do it, it's just a lot harder to kill them, basically.
Fashion Police Squad would have... There would sometimes be multiple ways you can handle certain enemies, but it just felt like, how do I say, it would be a chaotic sea of different types of enemies, and you have to be so particular in what you do for each one. But it felt like it was too excessive about it, is how it felt. And it was fun for a while, but eventually I'm like, I don't know, I just kind of prefer how older boomer shooters did it. But I thought the idea and concept was cool, but I wasn't digging it as much as I wish I could say I was.
Yeah. I kind of felt the same way when I played. The game was okay.
And then the other thing that game did, which drove me crazy, is like, oh, it's trying to be a boomer shooter, but oh, we're gonna do like quirky, long dialogue cutscenes that you can't fully skip through. And I'm like, no, I don't want to play a game like this and have characters like start talking, and you have to like flip through pages of a book. It's like, no, I want to just like be thrown in.
You got
and
a
I want to
visual
play.
novel attached.
Yeah.
You got Quake attached to a visual novel. Yeah. Yeah, like, I know, like, one of the DLCs for Eternal, like, went pretty hard down that route, too. I remember not liking that, too, where I think it was the first or second DLC for Doom Eternal. There was, like, one enemy where it's, like, the only way you could kill the enemy was... It has, like, a rock armor skin on it, and when you shoot it, it just doesn't take damage. So you have to switch to the shotgun, and you have to specifically use the rotary, like, Gatling gun secondary fire of the shotgun to break the armor skin, and then you switch to like another weapon to then like kill them once you break the armor skin. And you had to use that specific weapon with that specific attachment to like break their skin or whatever. I remember that was like a thing in Doom Eternal's DLC. I remember that was when it hit the point where I'm like, okay, I don't think I like this system.
It wasn't the Marauder or whatever, right?
No, the Marauder is he's like a parry button enemy where you have to like you have to wait for the green light to like kind of pop up, and then you like shoot him with like a high damage attack to then stagger him. But there's ways you could kind of get around that parry thing too. Like if you use like grenades or remote detonated rockets, you could kind of detonate them kind of behind him when he has a shield up, and then kind of like stagger him too. So there's kind of ways around it, but it was kind of inconsistent too. Yeah, the Marauder's like the enemy where it's like you shoot at him and it's like he runs at you, and if you shoot without the green light being up, then like his like red shield will just pop up and like absorb the shot completely. Wait. So it's like you're kind of forced to like wait for that like parry window timing thing to even like damage him, unless you're like again like using grenades or like rocket remote detonations.
Wait, I hit this button and then it brings this up. Is that the game's way of telling me that I need to go down there? Oh, this is the door. It was so dark I couldn't tell. I'm stupid. When do we get the porn enemies?
The porn enemies? Those are around like halfway in the game, the Iron Maidens.
They're gonna make me work for it. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I just love how insane that is. That would never happen now, to where it's like you're shooting like ladies and they're going like, oh! Cracks me up. Now that's a man that knows how to create female characters. Paul the man Steed.
Send in the porn enemies. Yeah, you gotta play Citadel for that type of experience.
There's a lot of barrels around, y'all.
Yeah, like the classic put the enemies next to the explosive barrels. I love that.
Can't believe that barrels have been done as long as Doom.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta use my brain. Oh, this right here. Okay. When I played this off stream, I think it was this room that confused me. I did something, but I didn't do another thing. You know what I'm talking about?
You like, yeah, you shot the thing, but you forgot to like you didn't realize that it turned like the laser grid off, I think.
Yeah, and then I like just ran around clueless.
You found a secret.
I've been getting pretty lucky. Most secrets I find are like accident.
They added the exclamation point back when you found a secret.
What? When did that get removed? I remember that was a thing that got removed from something.
In base Quake 2, when you find a secret, it's like, you found a secret. Like, in Quake 1, it's like, you found a secret. The excitement was removed from Quake 2, but this remaster has re-added the excitement to Quake 2.
Can't believe it got smacked by the melee guy. Oh, we can't go here yet.
Yeah, this is the remaster.
So the I remember there was something about these leaper guys in the in the original version. What was their deal again?
They don't leap in the original version.
Okay.
So I think the original game, I don't know if that was a behavior that was originally programmed in or not, but I do know that the enemies in Quake 2 had a lot of behaviors that were like removed at some point in the development, and so base Quake 2 is a much easier game than if you play this remaster in its current state. And I think it has a lot to do with like that enemy behavior being sort of reactivated in this remaster of the game. And one of those is like the leap thing, I'm pretty sure. I do know like some of the enemy attacks, like the Gatling gun guys, I'm pretty sure in base Quake 2 they can't like run and shoot at you at the same time, whereas like in this they can.
I remember that was the thing that you said about original Quake 2, is you said that it was too easy.
Yes, yeah. When I play base Quake 2, it's like I go through the whole game, and I never feel like I'm, even on like hard plus difficulty, I never feel like I'm at any point where I feel like I'm like going to die or like run out of ammo or resources or anything. But like this version of the game, yeah, like it re-implements like the more aggressive enemy behavior. It puts in some of the enemies that are like added in the expansions. Like there's like one enemy, it's kind of like there's one enemy kind of like the Archvile where it like revives dead enemies. That's an enemy that was in the expansions and not like the base Quake 2.
I think I finished him off with the pistol.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this. Ow! Oh yeah, I remember when I... Oh, no.
Or you try to like grenade them or something.
I think I got it.
Squish them.
Yeah, I think I got it. I think it's because you're supposed to squish them before they get alerted to you. And I think when I was playing yesterday, or whenever it was, I think I just waited too long. And so I kept trying to time it up, because he always knows where you are. So if you move over here, he just like runs right immediately under you, which makes it to, you know, you need him here. But he's going to be like standing right here.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't neglect chat. We love chat. Yeah, this is how much we love chat. No, it's okay.
So much
they
you
would
want
like
to blow
it.
them away.
Ow! Ow!
The leap attack was an idea they had, but next before any public release. It was left in the notes and used for the Quake 4 version enemy. I think that was one of the inspirations for re-adding it to the remaster. Gotcha. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if it was like actually in the programming for the enemies and it was just like cut, or if it was like something that the remaster just kind of like added to the game. Because those enemies are definitely, like in base Quake 2, they're like a non-threat. They're very easy to just ignore. They basically just kill before they even get near you.
Oh wait, I did get this gun last time I played. Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I actually love the chain gun in this game.
Is this where I'm like, I get finicky about like taking damage and you're like, just fall?
Yes.
Okay, but there's got to be a way. Yeah, you see that little bit of geometry? That right there? I think I can...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Ah! Ooh, that was okay. Okay. Oh, come on, now!
Yeah. You
What?
can't even get on it.
What did you say? No!
You can't even get on it.
Oh, don't worry. I heard you. I heard exactly what you said. beam, 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 beam. There's me running into projectiles. Wow, that projectile's coming from the right. I think I'll swerve into it. This area seems pretty cool, bitch. He's right behind me. Where is it? That's right. Hey, do they still do the, Oh, they don't do that anymore. The ugly, fucked up health and the nice, beautiful health.
Oh, yeah, you have the regular med kits and then the rotten med kits in the original Quake. I think there's still multiple med kit types in this game, but I think they look more like different in this one. The original. 'Cause the original Quake is kind of hard to tell the difference between the med kits at like a glance.
I want Johnson & Johnson's fucked up rotten Band-Aids. Hey, what does this do? Did that open? This already was open, I thought.
No, I opened the door like across, like that door there.
Oh, I forgot. Because it said this opens elsewhere. Oh, is this mandatory?
Yeah, this is the way to go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to go the way I'm supposed to go. Did I ever go in there?
I don't remember. I think you did. It's a hand grenade in here.
I think I'm full on those.
Okay. Yeah, you are.
I believe it being more hands-on, handgun, rather than hand grenade. Okay.
Okay.
What the? The music chilled out. Oh, no, never mind. No, it didn't. Look at all the different lighting.
It's just looping back. There's like red lights, yellow lights, white lights.
I keep thinking that 4 is my super shotgun! So in terms of level design, are you going for levels of about this tier sophistication, or are you going a bit under or beyond it?
I'd say probably about this level, maybe, depending on the environment, maybe a little bit more. I kind of want like System Shock 2-ish kind of level fidelity.
How does this compare? Ow! How does this compare to Half-Life, like level-wise, like blockiness, etc.?
Half-Life's a little bit more complex, I would say, but like I would say marginally. Half-Life kind of is trying to make the place seem more like real and believable, as opposed to just being like video game levels.
Like abstract maps.
Yeah,
like
a little
this.
less abstract, basically, in Half-Life.
Yeah! That's me missing! Did you see that? Maybe you missed it. I'll teach you all about missing. Of course you saw it. Why wouldn't you? Huh! What's this?
This is where you gotta bring, the power cubes, too.
Oh,
so
right.
Come back here.
This is how we get to the next area.
Yeah.
I hear a certain, like, way a guitar sounds in this, and I keep thinking of the Dr. Roxos song. It's not quite the same, but it just reminds me of it. I can't do his voice. I can't go that high. Not in that way, anyway. I'm just a rock and roll clown.
It's not very clear, but these black boxes are actually, explodable.
Oh, I see. I sure paid for that. I miss this era of Edge. Like, there was a time where things like Twisted Metal would come into existence.
Yeah.
We truly live in dark times, but in the wrong ways. Not aesthetically dark enough. Although I guess we do some grim dark, like grim dark. We do a certain type of dark. But not the way that the 2000s would do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
oh, this area.
Everything back then had this like everything's like soaked in this like unironically like edgy crime, basically, where like it has a layer, everything has a layer of like edge to it, basically, and it's like completely like genuine, like non-self-aware, like edge, basically.
And some things wouldn't be
cool.
Some things wouldn't quite be edgy exactly. Like I feel like there's a difference between the presentation of like Diablo versus like this, if that makes sense. Like there or like Thief. Does that make sense? No.
Yeah.
No. Let me in. Oh, right. Because I don't use these. I don't need these.
But what's wrong with you?
Somebody mentioned same way Doomslayer gets everything, probably out of a Dead Demon's Doomslayer. Okay. Doomslayer, I don't like as much as Doom Guy.
Yeah, I like Doom Guy.
Something more relaxed about it, but if they start leaning into Doom Guy, it could become Reddit. I mean, it already kind of is now, right? What was it, the comment that we said, that new Doom is Warhammer for Redditors?
I think I said that. So it's kind of like Reddit 40K.
Did you come up with that? You're a genius.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like a little lab rat thrown into a cage, and I gotta figure out what's to do.
I think were you the one, or was it me that said that like Helldivers 2 is just like Reddit Starship Troopers?
I probably said that. What the hell? What was that?
It's an explosion.
Why did it do that?
It dropped some ammo.
I already got ammo. Got more than I'll ever need. Hey, I was out here earlier. Hey, ooh, wow, health. Oh, right, it's the items that you use when you want to. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, I didn't get the cube yet. Is that an abyss? Ow!
That's the bottom.
My health! Ooh.
You found armor. Can you believe that?
Isn't there like a super strong armor that I picked up off stream and you liked?
Yeah,
you liked that armor a lot.
Yeah, it's the power armor. Which you get later. Requires batteries.
No, I went the wrong way. Redditors really want the Doom story, but it's doing this story and porn thing. Oh yeah, to where you really don't want plot. Like
That's the John Carmack quote where he says that story in games is like story in porn, where it's like it's to be expected but you're not there for it.
Yeah, which is why it's always irritating whenever I see reviews for like certain like older games that I like, yeah, I don't know, this haunting ground plot is like whatever, and it's like who cares? It's just a justification for why you're here. Like the story doesn't matter. What am I doing wrong? Did I not hit something right?
Yeah, there's something you haven't done in here.
This thing?
Nope.
Something that I haven't done. Oh. I'm supposed to get over here, right?
Yeah, do it.
I will. No, come back!
You don't need that.
What? Oh,
you don't need the platform.
You're right. You're right. See, I couldn't tell that was a button. I just thought that was geometry. Now what? Yeah. Oh! I want to use some of this ammo. Damn, I hate this guy. I didn't actually mean to use that. No, I want this one.
So I got squished by the door. That was funny.
I think I killed him with this, and then I wasted another shot hitting him. Somebody got squished? Hello, Amanda. How are you?
The door squished them.
I'm just eating shit! Alright, yeah, in fight. You hate each other. You remember what he did to your girlfriend. You're not gonna just take that. Motherfucking weak people above me. Oh shit, him and his grenades really helped me out. Show me your moves. Give me that.
There you go. Got the cube.
I like the soul cube in Doom 3.
Oh yeah.
Don't they like talk to you?
Yeah, it always like every time you kill like 3 or 4 like enemies in the game, then it gives you a little like voice prompt where here it goes, use us every time you kill a 4 enemy. It's kind of funny. I kind of forget about the soul cube from Doom 3 actually.
You get it late in the game,
like,
right?
Yeah, it's like in the last like third of the game, yeah.
Actually, I'm curious. Has there ever been any mods to kind of like address any criticisms you have of Doom 3? Because you like Doom 3, but I know you have some issues.
Yeah, I've never really played a Doom 3 mod that like overhauls it in a way that like I feel like is like fully like satisfactory to me. I don't know.
Right.
Also, I haven't really like tried to look for any too much either. I don't feel like Doom 3 has too big of a mod scene.
Speaking of Doom 3, I remember there was a fan expansion that somebody made a long time ago that you tried out, and I think we kind of like dipped out early because it was so narrative focused rather than gameplay.
Yeah, you didn't play it. I played it. I just told you about it.
I thought I watched you. I was there.
No.
I was.
No, you
guys.
I you were not there.
I was there.
I've told you. You know about it secondhand because I've like explained it to you. In the past.
I watched you play it, and then you also talked to me about it later. Don't you rob me of my experiences of being there?
I know
he
for
might
a fact
be right.
You were there.
Shut up. He might be right, but I don't like how confident you are about this. All right, continue.
I know you weren't there for it because I was playing it and I was in a call with you, but you were doing something else because you were talking to other friends.
So I was there technically. I was right. I was there.
Yes.
Kinda.
But I did not stream it or anything to you though.
Whatever.
I
was just. Well, I'm just trying to segue into the conversation, and you're just like, actually, chat. She doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's important to the context.
Ugh. Okay, you may continue.
I don't remember the name of it. I'm trying to think.
Oh, right.
When it got to I actually kind of liked it when it got to the gameplay, but there was like... It was like an hour... It was like a 45-minute to hour-long like prologue section. It was it was very ambitious. And like I commend there's like a lot of work put into it, but yeah, it had so much like narrative and plot and like dialogue. Like I don't know, it just felt very like a modern game, kind of like you know, you play a modern game and it's like it has to have like an hour of like setup where you just kind of walk around.
Oh yeah, horror games love to do that.
Yeah, and do like backstory type stuff where it's like we need to set up like characters and stuff like that. It's like okay, like I guess that's cool and all, but like if I'm gonna play Doom or like a Doom related game, I kind of just want to get to the gameplay basically. And I remember like getting to the gameplay. It was very like Half-Life, like whenever you do get to the gameplay. I mean, even the beginning of it, like it reminded me a bit of Half-Life, but it's kind of like if I don't know, it's like if Half-Life's like intro sequence, instead of like getting to the test chamber in like 15 minutes, it took like 45 minutes to an hour to get there. That's what it felt like to me, at least. There's a lot of like flashbacks and stuff like that, and it's like I don't know, it's about like It's about like, I don't know, like someone's like sister in the hospital or something like that. It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I care about this. I just wanna play the game. And like they advertise it where it's like it's got like, you know, like cool level design and like the shotguns like different and stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of played it and just kind of lost interest pretty quick with it. But I do remember like getting to the gameplay bit, and it's like it was like fine when I got there, and I actually probably should have kept playing it, but I was so exhausted by the opening like hour of it that I just kind of lost interest.
Would be an interesting stream game one day.
Yeah.
But that's something that like a lot of games do is they have to do this kind of cinematic walk you through. We're easing you into the game. Remember, this has a story too. Like that's the worst thing about modern Resident Evil, mainly with Resident Evil 7 and 8, is that oh boy, you're ready to play a pretty good game that like mostly tries to incorporate elements from the original Resident Evil games. But hold on, you got to do the bloated opening first. With scripted events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not to say that this Doom mod that you're talking about was exactly the same, but if we're talking on the subject of like the slow burn opening to games, I have like a lot of mixed feelings about it. RE4 remake did that also.
Yeah.
With its opening, whereas RE4 original, you just kind of pop in.
Yeah. I guess a lot of my issues in like modern kind of game storytelling, we've talked about this before, but like it's that, like, to me, a lot of modern games, it's like the story aspect of games is basically just like Hollywood style of storytelling where you're just kind of like, you're basically watching a movie where you have controls of the game, but aside that, you're essentially just watching a movie that you're not really like engaging with in the gameplay like at all. And then eventually the story stops, and now you get to engage with the gameplay. And then the gameplay parts stop, and then you go back to the Hollywood, like telling you or showing you a movie type of thing, basically. And I feel like basically stuff like like modern like Last of Us and derivative type of stuff is like that, where it's like I don't feel like a lot of games really blend story and gameplay in a way that's like compelling to me. It's kind of like it's like at like. It's like a anti-cohesion kind of thing where to me they kind of rub against each other like the wrong way, basically, where it's like story and then plot and then story and then plot, and to me it feels like whiplash, basically. It's like at that point, like I would rather just have cutscenes that I can skip or just put my controller down and not even think about like having to make my character walk while the characters are talking to each other for like 15 minutes or whatever.
Because that's not gameplay. That's just boring. That's just going on rails, holding forward and doing the scripted event, which it's not that much fun even when you're playing blind.
Yeah.
Whereas like a cool like think of like Resident Evil 4 cutscenes, how much personality they have. But imagine if you instead just hold forward for them. It's not as good. Not to say that Resident Evil 4 remake didn't have those, but
I feel like it just depends on the game, but like I like when I like storytelling in games, I usually like storytelling done in ways where it's complementing the gameplay as opposed to detracting from the gameplay in some sort of way. I feel like good examples is games where like you have story and you kind of like work for the story, or the gameplay somehow like supplements it some sort of way. Like a game like, to me, like Deus Ex or like Thief or like System Shock 2, I feel like those games have great stories, and I feel like they also have the story complementing its gameplay. Like in the case like System Shock 2, it's like, to know what's even happening in the story, it's all told through audio logs, where everything has already occurred in the past, and if you want to know what's happening, well, you listen to the audio logs, or you progress through the world, you find things, there's a lot of environmental storytelling, and you kind of piece together the story of the game, and to me it complements the gameplay, because while you're learning about the story, you're also finding clues and gaining information that helps you know what to do and where you're supposed to go at the same time. Like, to me, that's an example of like, you have a system that is basically telling you the story and also teaching you what to do in the game or telling you what to do in the game. Basically, it goes hand in hand in like that kind of gameplay type.
I'm fucking lost. I've been struggling on this level. I made a little bit of progress. Stop laughing. Oh, I'm so stupid. Leave me alone. I know I activated this, but I can't see. Go! Mina makes a good teacher.
Do I?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm bad at teaching.
I feel like you are better at explaining things than I am. What is this music? It reminds me of like Unreal or something.
Did it change tracks?
Is it doing that glitch? Hey, can you hear it?
Let me turn. It's hard to hear for me. Oh, you found a secret. Nice.
Mega health. Is that an item or a permanent upgrade?
It's an It's kind of like the soul sphere from Doom.
Oh. Do I want to go up?
In this game, your health will drain when it goes above your max, unfortunately. Yeah, have you got all the cubes? Press F1.
I have 3. I have 3. Right?
Yeah, I think you're missing one. Maybe?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember getting I don't remember getting 4 if I need 4. But I have been running around in circles struggling.
Yeah, go back. I think I know which one you missed.
I don't even know what back means. Here?
Not down here. No, go upstairs.
Oh, explain what's going on with the music also.
And then drop down. Then yeah, go on the railing and climb up the ladder when you go down the way.
I already did that. Yeah, you
didn't pick this one. Oh wait, you did pick this one.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason I thought it was still there because it's bright here. Maybe you did get them all in. Yeah, I don't know why, but... So, one thing that happens is, when you complete the primary objective, then it'll just stop the music on this level. But sometimes, like, just randomly, after it cycles the song so many times, it'll just randomly switch to, like, this, like, ambient track that you're normally only supposed to hear, like, leading up to, like, the final boss of the game. Okay, so... Yeah, go back the way you were going.
What does that mean?
Like, go where you picked up that last cube.
This way?
Yeah.
Okay, and just keep going?
You go up the ladder?
I just escaped.
Yeah, but you end up, like, backtracking. So, go out here. You go up the elevator.
What elevator? Here?
Yep. And then go back to the box room.
Where's that? This?
Right next to you. This box room, yes.
Oh, this kind of box.
Yeah. Then go down the stairs when you come across it. And then go down the elevator. Right up the elevator in here. Right up the elevator.
Elevator. Oh.
Then go through that door.
This door?
No. You gotta drop back down. Go down the elevator.
Whoa! This elevator?
Yeah. There's a door up here.
Oh! This!
Yep. There you go.
Oh, right. Some of them are machine gun guys and some of them are grenade guys. That confused me earlier because they look too similar.
The one that shoots the grenades also shoot the machine guns too.
Oh.
They switch. But these look similar. There's the melee ones, and then there's the grenade/machine gun ones. Those two guys to me look pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah, they usually shoot grenades when you like break line of sight of them. Like when you're at corners and stuff, they'll start like shooting and trying to like get you around the corner.
You think there's a guy over there?
This door's open elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm fucking looking, you backseater. Yeah. Oh, wait. Is there a ladder somewhere? Yes. You can't see shit! Give me those. Just forgot about that guy. Come on! Come on! Come back! Ow! 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 What do you think of my quick reflexes?
I like your like machine gun spraying left and right.
That's not answering the question. The prompt. The compliment prompt. Come on, get stuck on shit. That's right. Where's my compliments? You haven't complimented me this entire playthrough. Why?
Have I not?
No.
Do you keep track of that?
Yes.
I somehow feel like you're not telling the truth.
That's not a thing that happens here. This place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time to leave. It sounds like somebody needs to use the green arrow.
Ah, shut up. You don't. No, not here, right?
Nope.
Okay, okay. Ah, no!
Yeah, it's a one-way you're walked in here. You got to go all the way around.
Oh, come on. Why? Now,
It's punishment for not knowing where to go.
whatever. This way?
Yeah.
Okay. That way?
Yep.
Oh!
I somehow knew that was going to happen.
Whoa, whoa! Okay, okay. Hold on. I wouldn't play Hexen. Wait. Hexen's not the... Is Hexen the evil game? Which is the evil game with the 5,000?
That's Hexen.
Oh, okay. You have finished 1/13 of the puzzle.
Yep, that's Hexen. Yeah, like 1/16 of the puzzle has been solved when you hit a random switch and you have no clue what or where it even opened anything.
That's just a weapon, friend. You want me to hit this button? What?
I think you shot the spinning rotating shotgun.
I detected movement. Do you want me to go this way?
I go up the elevator. You remember the elevator is?
Oh, I don't... Yeah.
Actually, not this elevator. There's another elevator. Well, maybe you can make that jump. I don't know. Nah, you probably got to do a strafe jump for that.
This elevator?
Yeah.
You beat Hexen out of spite.
I've beaten Hexen at least 3 times, and yeah, every time I replay it, I forget like where you're supposed to go. There's one. I remember last time I played Hexen, there was one trigger that actually broke, where you kill enemies and then a door's supposed to open, and it just straight up didn't work. So they use like a cheat to like continue the game.
Good night, Space Marine.
Good night.
Right, this is one of those guns where the projectile comes out of the gun, not the center of the screen.
All the weapons actually function that way in this, where it's based on the angle. If you switch, you can actually switch your gun from right to left-handed, and it makes
my goodness.
like it'll change the angle where it comes from, which is kind of cool.
I don't think I did this last time. What did you say? It changes the angle?
You can change your gun from like left-handed, right-handed. You can do center as well, and like it'll change the angle where the projectile comes from.
That's cool.
I actually kind of liked. I didn't replay. It was actually the first time I played. I played Hexen 2 for the first time like 4 or 5 years ago, also, and I actually liked it quite a bit. In ways, it's I don't know. Some levels are more obtuse than Hexen 1, but most of the game is actually pretty straightforward. What I remember.
Is that a door? I remember that I actually had an easier time with this off stream. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you were not getting as lost whenever you're playing this off stream.
I feel like I'm not reading the level design.
Yeah, the Egyptian hub puzzle. That was the part of the game that like threw a wrench in it for me. Where I was getting through most of the game fine. Then when I got to that one, there was like it was like a riddle basically, and I had the logic to it down, but there's like another riddle piece that you're supposed to read that then gives you, I don't remember what it was exactly, but it basically gives you an additional context telling you that, oh yeah, the other sign you read, that one's incorrect. This is the actual correct information, or something along those lines. And I wandered around the map trying to figure out like what the hell you're supposed to do, basically, because I thought like I have the riddle down. It doesn't make any sense, and it's like I just missed that one sign that gives you that one little caveat, basically.
Also, I mean, I know what I did wrong. It was because you come from here, it should be a straight line. Level design's like, go this way. But I'm like,
went right.
Let's go here. So that's why I fucked myself over. Hey, the music broke. I already put that in there.
No. Yeah, I think the objective's completed. Okay, stop the elevator.
Was it gonna ever come down now?
Yeah, hit it again. It just stops it, basically.
I think I broke the music, bro.
Yeah, go, you forgot to get the ammo room, also.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Where?
Keep going. Look at this.
I already did this. You weren't paying attention.
Yeah, I'm saying that you didn't come back and get it again.
Let me down! Right, after I...
that's...
Because I loaded my save.
That's why you have, running as a toggle button, so you don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
It runs on its own. Just let it run.
Oh, I see. Why does it even give me a button then? What the? How are you alive? Ah!
Giving him the leap is like really goofy. I kind of love it.
Isn't it great? It makes him threatening.
You hit the switch again. So I heard you walk into it.
I can't believe the music glitch. Is this a thing with the remastered version specifically?
It was in the original too.
Interesting.
I don't think it's the glitch. I think it's that you completed the objective, so it just turned the music off.
I didn't put all the cubes in though.
Yeah, you did. Or you put the one cube in you need for like this level. Because you're at the end of the level.
Oh, this is the exit? I thought this was gonna take me back to the other area.
No, you're in the next room.
Oh. Okay. Ah! They're crafty! Oh! Oh! Come on. Fucking bitches! Ugh. Didn't I come from here or no?
Yeah, you were in here earlier, but the lights were off.
Oh, okay. So when I turned the lights back on, then like new enemies showed up.
Yeah.
There is slight bobbing in this. Well, think
Yeah.
your animation. Your camera doesn't bob, right?
There's a little bit of tilting on the camera, like when
Are
you're...
they hit scan?
Yes.
That's why fucking... Fuck.
Yeah, their hit scan, you can... Like, if you strafe fast enough, you can avoid their shots, though.
How, doesn't that make it not hit scan anymore, then?
It's not that they're not hit scan, it's that they, their tracking is a little bit delayed.
Oh, I see, I see.
The Doom enemies work the same way.
No, no, no! I don't want to be in here! Pumpkin, use your quad damage, yeah. I saw... Oh! Oh, alright, I'll stay up here. Ow! No, no, no! I'll let you two gentlemen get back to what you were doing. Alright. No, I don't like in these kind of games. I typically, if it's like an item that I can use, I usually just hold on to things and don't want to. No!
That's my problem with the items in Quake 2 is I end up hoarding them except for like very specific uses where it's like, okay, I can hold one quad damage. Yeah, you bet I'm going to save it for the one boss fight so I can kill him in like 2 seconds.
Right?
Otherwise I don't really know like where to use it for the most part. What I usually do is like when I find a quad damage and I'm already full on them, I just like activate my current one and then pick up the new one, just try to utilize it in that situation. But on easier difficulties you can carry more of them. On hard you can only carry one single one.
I just usually think it makes it less fun if you just use an item that lets you one-shot everything. I mean, it does feel good to pick it up, especially in Quake 1. Especially because, like, if you don't plan ahead, you might pick it up after already killing things. So there's, like, kind of, like, fun in that.
In Quake, it feels like there's encounters, I feel like, that they designed expecting you to pick it up, basically.
Right. Well, when I play
Doom's the same way. There's some Doom encounters where if you don't have invulnerability, it's like an absolute pain in the ass.
When I play stuff like a medieval, though, I usually don't want to use those abilities until bosses.
Yeah. If you
Okay.
don't use items, you're basically just making the game like significantly harder, I will say, though.
Well, yeah. That's just how we roll, though. Horde and quad damage in Quake 2 makes bosses really easy. I don't think I've even run into a single boss, have I? I remember watching you fight, like, some boss in an expansion, I think. It was before the remastered. And I remember you said it was very hard. I was there and I watched it. Do you remember? You were in an outdoor area and there was, like, a machine gun enemy.
I don't fully remember which one it was.
In fight! In fight! I remember this area. No! Oh my god. Where's the... I'll finally use one of these.
Yeah.
Any more?
I'd be above.
Where is anything? Where's thing? The elevator. Oh, right, this thing.
Beep beep.
No! I'm losing full power. Oh, here we go. These silly things.
I love them.
when you get closer to an enemy, do you likely the chance of some critical, or is it more that you just guarantee that all the pellets will hit?
Oh, for the super shotgun, you're just more likely to kill them and stun them because more shots are hitting them. The spread's pretty wide on the super shotgun, so you have to get pretty close to do maximum damage.
One little armor shard. Thank you. Gee, is that an enemy?
Armor.
Is that enemy?
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. With exploding glass.
Wait, I don't need to use this now. I didn't mean to use that gun. How did I pull that out? Did I hit 2?
2, yeah.
Okay, okay. Give me health, expecting me to just get fucked by that thing. Hey, this sounds like modern games now.
Yeah, you're right. Sounds like Resident Evil 2 remake now.
It feels more realistic though. Oh, this thing! Oh, whee! Where's
Nice. Do you like the keyboards where it's like you it's a button that like pushes in like the entire fucking keyboard?
I love it. It's so silly. I'm actually running out of ammo. Let me use some of this. That chews through your ammo so fast. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, the chain gun is a bullet hose. I love the chain gun in this though. I said it before, but I feel like the weapon differentiation of like the nail gun to the super nail gun, I feel like is done better in this game for the machine gun and chain gun because I feel like there's more clear application of when to use the chain gun and the machine gun versus like the nail gun and the super nail gun Quake 1.
Right.
Quake 1, once you got the super nail gun, there's like almost, to me, there's never any reason to ever go back to using the normal nail gun because it's just the same gun but with like lower DPS basically. Whereas like in this game, the chain gun has insane DPS, but it has
a drawback.
Yes, the drawback is that it dumps your ammo so fast that it's hard to control how many bullets you actually spend, basically. And there's a wind up and a cooldown period using it, kind of like a plasma gun, like in Doom 1 as well.
Is that not an explosive?
No, they have to be like, they're like black with red text. Those are the explosive ones.
Oh, you were saying earlier, like, Quake 3 is the one where it's multiplayer focused. Was there criticism of that? I think you had criticism of that. That's what you said. You said you had issue with Quake 3 not having the single-player campaign. But is that, do you think that's why Quake 4 ended up being single-player focused?
Probably. I think Quake 3 was made where it was kind of like, I think John Carmack was kind of, he was wanting to like make a multiplayer focus game, I think mainly as a competition, where it's like Unreal and like Quake were like kind of butting heads like at their peak right there. And so, you know, Unreal Tournament was coming out, and then I think Quake 3 was kind of like an answer to like the multiplayer scene from like Unreal. And so, yeah, Quake 3 didn't have a single player, which to me kind of bummed me out, but it's a fun, it's like a good, like well-designed arena shooter, though.
All right, I decided to start wrapping things up. I'd like to take a shower, do a kind of relaxy, but we can still like mingle with chat a tiny bit. There was something that I was going to. Somebody asked if I'm Big O inspired. I'm actually not. However, I did realize later that there's a few similarities with my outfit and Dorothy from Big O, but she was not a conscious or subconscious influence. My hair is even kind of like similar if I take off my take my lawn hair off. Let me
Take your hair off.
let me pull my background music back. But hold on. But yeah. But I want to watch Big O. I saw a few episodes whenever it would air on Adult Swim. I think, Mina, you probably seen it around, right? I like the art style a lot.
I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
I feel like you and me are very similar in that there's lots of shows that we would see on Adult Swim, but we would catch them naturally, and we would maybe miss episodes in between, so we never really felt like we understood the context of anything that was going on, and never made the time to like go and be like, all right, let's find a way to watch this from the beginning.
Yeah.
How did you like my gameplay, Mina, of Quake 2?
That's pretty good. Yeah, I can tell you have the stream debuff because I watched you the other night, and it's like when you stream something, it's like everything just like is so much harder to do when you're streaming versus just like playing off stream.
Yeah. Oh, Mina, no veil. No veil.
No veil?
No more veil. Wow. I'm trying to make sure that we're scaled properly. We have interest in silhouettes. I like how big and giant your cones are. They're insane. I love it.
Are they insane?
I've long suspected Quake 3 was both an answer to Unreal Tournament and also Carmack just getting curious about programming and AI. Oh yeah, I actually don't know much about the AI of Quake 3, but I do remember the AI in Unreal, like Unreal Gold, being like crazy because they're built to filter people like me because it's AI that know how I'm gonna move because I'm so predictable.
Yeah, the Scar and Unreal will like they dodge like your projectiles and stuff, and they like strafe like left and right. Like when you play Unreal single player, it kind of feels like you're fighting like players to some degree.
Yeah. Was never super into it, but you remind me of Dorothy. The dead eyes, no offense, did it the most. I can totally see that. It's a comparison that doesn't offend me. I wish that I could say that she was an inspiration, but she was not. Definitely one of the least offensive comparisons, I would say.
Offensive comparisons.
You can poke an eye out with those cones. We could, or we can remove them. Mina, activate safety mode.
Safety mode.
Yeah, you know what safety mode is.
Is that what you want to call it?
It's kind of weird though. It feels like something's missing. I don't like it. Put them back. Oh, thank God. But Quake 2 actually feels really good. I regret being such a hater for so long because, whenever you get into something and then the thing changes, you do not want to even accept the thing for whatever it wants to be. You're just too busy comparing it to its predecessor. Now, that doesn't mean all the time that all changes are actually good, and in time you'll grow to like it. Not always. Some things is just objectively bad. But I feel like Quake 2, for exactly what it wants to be, is perfectly fine. Granted, again, I am playing the remastered, touched-up version with quality of life. How do you think I would feel if I was playing the true vanilla version? With how well you know me.
I feel like you would probably feel similar, but I feel like you might be a little bit less warm to it, because I feel like, at least to me, it's like there's little things in the gameplay of original Quake 2 that just like drive me kind of nuts, basically, and I feel like some of those things might affect you too if you'd played that version as well.
Right. Takes two hands to grab those cones.
Some of those things being the insane long weapon swapping speed, where it's like it takes so long to switch weapons. I feel like the game being too easy, the like lack of muzzle flashes, like that drove me personally insane. Like the lack of muzzle flash, it makes all the guns feel so like I don't know. They feel
like you're not shooting
flat.
anything that's
they feel,
explosive.
Yeah, they feel really flat in the original game without the muzzle flashes.
It's kind of cool that they ended up making this. I don't.
Yeah.
Did you see it coming? Oh wait, they did do a remaster for Quake 1.
Yes.
I sound like a Digimon character when I talk normally or when I do voices. Mina can do a Digimon voice. Mina, do the Digimon voice.
Digimon voice.
It's
I don't know why you call it that.
The one dinosaur, Gailmon or something. Ty's sister, the bitchy one. Wait, hold on. No. I don't think this character had a sister. I'm associating the girl who had Renamon. Tai Digimon. Oh, her. She had the Gatomon. I think her voice is way cuter.
Also, the Quake 2 expansions are also changed with the remaster as well.
Oh yes, you love the Quake 2 expansions.
The first one was fine. The second expansion with the ceiling turrets, though, oh my god, that one drove me nuts when I played that a few years ago. And then when I played a little bit of the remastered version of that expansion, and they nerfed the turrets so hard to where it makes that expansion way more bearable to play. But yeah, the original version, I think it's the Reckoning. I can't remember if it's Ground Zero or the Reckoning that has the turrets, but yeah, I don't recommend playing vanilla Quake 2 expansions for that reason.
Quake 2 expansions are better than the Quake 1 expansions. How do you feel about that?
I feel like they have better level design and additions to the game. I feel like their level pacing and layouts, the new enemies they add to it, the new weapons and stuff. I feel like all that stuff's actually pretty good. I don't know. I don't feel very strongly about the Quake 1 expansions. I feel like they're fine, I guess, but I did so of the two expansions I played for Quake 2, I haven't played the new remastered versions of them extensively, but I did play them with normal base Quake 2, and it's I liked them with the exception of the turrets. The turrets, I'm pretty sure it's the Reckoning that has the turrets. I don't know if it's Ground Zero or the Reckoning. I think it's the Reckoning. But the turrets just drove me completely insane. You can play you can deal with them. You can learn how to work with those turrets, but they make it where your gameplay in Quake 2 is now running into rooms, pointing your gun at the ceiling, watching for turrets popping in basically. And the moment you walk into a room and you forget to check the ceiling, you just die in the next couple seconds. The turrets are just they're a bit overtuned, basically, is my issue with them. They do too much damage, they react and aim their shots too accurately, and there's just too many of them. They become too I don't know. They just do them too much, basically.
Also, I forgot, whenever I ended the first stream to separate the Super Metroid and Quake 2 segments, I forgot that the YouTube chat doesn't refresh, so people had been talking to us and we didn't know. Luckily not too much, I don't think, but I'm so sorry, you guys, that I wasn't responding to y'all.
How dare you neglect YouTube?
One of the expansions was made by Zatrix Entertainment, which made Kingpin and later the best Wolfenstein game, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Yeah, actually, somebody, I was looking for military and naval games and fishing games. I was looking for specific niches, and somebody mentioned Wolfenstein. I'm like, no, I don't want Wolfenstein or Assassin's Creed because of pirates. I'm looking for other niche things. So I remember saying oh no, I'm not interested in Wolfenstein. It's that's actually inaccurate. I think Return to Castle Wolfenstein is very, very cool. I still need to finish it though. When I see stuff of the new Wolfensteins, it got a revival in the 2010 era, right? 2009, something like that.
2000. There was a 2009 Raven Software one. I never played that one, and then there's the Machine Games reboots from 2014 onward.
Okay, because I was always assuming that any new Wolfenstein would be like that era of gaming's, like the 2010 era, where it'll have like scripted stuff, forced walk-in, etc. So I've never been too interested in trying them, but should I? You didn't play the 2009 one?
Nope, I didn't play that one. The late Raven Software one. I didn't play it because it's like it's that late like Xbox 360 kind of era where it's like Call of Duty is kind of at its kind of like, you know, kind of its peak basically. Where a lot of military shooters are kind of like they want to go for like the COD audience type of thing. So I feel like I kind of passed up on it around that time period for that reason.
Do you ever hear anybody even like really bring it up?
I hear it's okay.
Okay.
I remember I think we watched the Ross Gaming Dungeon video on it, and I think he played like he played halfway through it, and he actually like he dropped it because he just said he got bored. It was like the first case where he like just got bored of a game.
But you like the New Order, right?
I liked it when it came out. I actually played it like 2 or 3 times the year it came out. It came out during a period where we were in like a single-player FPS drought, basically, where almost every FPS game that would release is a multiplayer predominantly made, you know, it's predominantly a multiplayer made FPS that's in vein of like Call of Duty or Battlefield, basically, and we're not getting single-player shooters, basically. And so when New Order came out, I bought it very near release because it's like, oh, it's a single player only FPS game in a time period where we don't really get these anymore, basically. So I actually got New Order, and I remember I liked it. I feel like it's fine. If I go back to it now, I might be more critical of it now if I go back to it, but I feel like it's probably still pretty good.
Right. So we're back in that drought, aren't we? At least in terms of mainstream single-player FPS kind of games. But I'm under the impression that you're not going to play the new Doom. Like you liked Eternal, but I get the impression you're not going to play the new one.
I'm not in a. I'll probably play it at some point, but I'm not going to be in a rush to play it. I feel like.
Okay. Singularity before they got eaten by the cod hole. Singularity. Why does that sound familiar? Company?
That's I think Singularity was also a Raven Software game. That's the like time travel one that they did. Okay. I think we watched a video on that one recently. It was like a Mandalore video on it.
It's not the one where you time travel and you're fighting pilgrims with rocket launchers, right?
No, it's not that. You're thinking of like Darkest Days or something like that.
When are you gonna play that?
That game looks pretty funny.
We don't get silly concepts like that. Although we don't get like lots of types of first-person or single-player games anymore, at least in the mainstream, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we enjoy, we like talking about this kind of stuff, especially Mina, who would have more understanding of everything that you're talking about. I'm kind of like, at what point am I no longer a tourist, Mina?
I don't know.
I feel like I'm always going to be a little bit more tourist, but you know what? It's okay. So I guess we can start doing our wrap up. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us while we play Quake 2, a really cool game. We'll do this some other time, probably a Gorilla stream. So we'll pop up another day, randomly, probably nightish time, something like that. Today, what day is it today? Sunday?
Sunday. Well,
okay.
It's now Monday, but...
Yeah, but it's basically... Oh my god, I didn't realize what time it was. Holy shit. Thank god we started wrapping it up. So I'm going to be live again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be resuming my replay of the Dead Space remake, because I like that game a lot. Actually, Mina, I'm curious about giving the original Dead Space another shot one day, because I've been very dismissive of it. I want to try it again. Maybe I'll grow to like it more. My whole thing with Dead Space is another story, because I normally talk about that, but I do want to wrap things up. Mina, well, do you got anything that you're doing? Anything that you want to talk about, or maybe plug in your Thursday stream?
Yeah, this Thursday I will be playing more vanilla Deus Ex at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes.
It's been my re-debut game.
Oh yeah.
I'm on the new model from just 2 weeks ago, so we'll be doing more of that.
Yeah, if you want more content like what you saw, Mina's more the consistent about that. Mina like regularly plays like the FPS games. I'm kind of like all over the place with what I play. But Mina streams are a good, relaxing, cozy time. And thank you so much for doing this spontaneous collab with me. Even though we had the thumbnail sitting around, it's still spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
You agree with us, Sino? Because me, Mina, and a reviewer that we like, and does our friend Barley agree with us about Dead Space 1?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so a very small circle of people that we know seem to agree with us about. Oh, fine, I'll do the tangent. Dead Space 1, there's nothing really wrong or bad about it. Just it doesn't spark joy in us like it does for everyone else. And some of it is, I don't know. I'd have to play it so I can properly verbalize why it doesn't grab me, I guess.
But I think, I don't know. Yeah, it's very hard to pinpoint what it is exactly about Dead Space 1, but it's like, I feel like the things that Dead Space 1 is derivative of, I just like all more. It's like Resident Evil 4 is a big influence on Dead Space. I just feel like I like Resident Evil 4 way more. Like System Shock 2 also was an influence on Dead Space. I think that game is way better than Dead Space as well. So it's kind of like the things that Dead Space is amalgamation of, to me, I just like more than Dead Space itself, basically.
Right. And it's like, just because a thing was inspired by things you like doesn't mean you also have to like the thing that was created as a result of that inspiration, right? It's like, nah, I think I'll just like I think I'll just like System Shock 2 and Resident Evil 4, and I won't like everything that inspires it. Like that kind of logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead Space 1 is too in your face and not insidious enough. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit rah-rah screechy at times. But let's go ahead and do our final stand. This is my Discord. Mina is also there.
Stand.
Mina's also in the Discord as well, where we watch movies sometimes, do game nights. We are going to do a Quake 1 and Quake 2 deathmatch night sometime. Mina will be there probably, so you'll actually get a challenge out of fighting them, whereas with me, it would just be sad. Because Mina's actually pretty formidable in those kind of games, so that'll be fun, I suppose, for some of you. Yeah, I got linked my Discord. Here's my website if you... let me spell it right. Here's my website if you want to check my external stuff. And then here's my Twitter. And I already shouted out Mina, but I can go ahead and I can post Mina's card, which has all of their external links, like their Twitch, their reference sheets, whatever would interest you. Yeah, and I guess we can go ahead and find somebody to raid. Let me refresh and see who is around. I don't know if any Dollhouse members are around at the moment still. I know Robin and Lamb were streaming earlier. Yeah, there's not a lot of people on, but it's also like 2 a.m. Maybe that's why
It's
they're
Sunday
not
night
around.
and it's late.
Yeah. Do you have anybody on your end that's live that you want to raid into?
Let me see. Pretty much everyone is offline on my end too.
Oh my. Let's raid Veneno. I don't think I have been able to raid them in quite a while. I think they're playing Street Fighter 6, so let's go ahead and raid them. I think they actually just started. Alright. Okay. Good night, everybody. See you. Say bye, Mina.
Good night.